Oh, we live. Welcome. You made it to the live chat. Double tap, subscribe, join the channel, donate, support the channel. Perfect timing. Double tap the like button. Welcome, everybody. All we do is win. And if you came for MAGA, put your hands in the air. Let them stay there. All we do is win. And if you came for MAGA, put your hands in the air. Let them stay there. All we do is win Wednesdays. Perfect Timing Podcast back with the blast. All we do is win Wednesdays. Perfect Timing Podcast back with the blast. Double tap hit the like button. We are here, ladies and gentlemen, for another fire podcast, and you are here with me. Let's go, everybody. Double tap. Let's go, everybody. Let's go. How's everybody doing on this wonderful, wild Wednesday? All we do is win. And if you came for MAGA, put your hands in the air. Let them stay there. Perfect Time Podcast back with the blast, in and out with the dash. How y'all doing this morning, man? Afternoon, good evening, good afternoon, good morning, whatever it is to you. Oh, we feeling good. Oh, that MAGA. We feeling good this morning. You know what we came to do? Trump news. Giving Democrats the blues. Giving Democrats the blues. Double tap hit the like button. Welcome to the live stream. Remember to guard your privacy and abide by community guidelines. You have made it. You welcome to the live stream. I know you've been waiting to catch me from the beginning. Hey, I caught this guy. He was this good guy. He was talking about some stuff. I agree with him. I disagree with him. I haven't been able to catch the podcast from the beginning. I haven't been able to catch the podcast. Today, you're welcome. You're welcome. All I got to say is you're welcome. You were able to catch the podcast from the very beginning. We are live on YouTube. Thank you to YouTube. Thank you for the platform. Number one podcast for geopolitical debate and domestic debate. Today going to be a lot of domestic discussion, but I got some geopolitical soup. Abu Dhabi. Can y'all put a hashtag in the chat? Abu Dhabi, lobby. That's what we doing now. Abu Dhabi, Denali lobby going down right now. Trilateral talks and war hawks. Can we get a hashtag in the chat right now? Abu Dhabi, Denali lobby, and we got peace talks with the war hawks. I said we got peace talks with the war hawks in Abu Dhabi, Denali lobby. Hey, Perfect Timing Podcast back with the blast. Only me coming in real fast with all of the news for today. Today, latest news, ICE crisis continues to spark America. I got more on the ICE walkouts. Remember yesterday, we've been talking about, I'm the first one to let you know, I know you've been going to work, you've been paying bills. Remember, I told you that the tax time is here. Tax time is here. It's that tax time season of the year. How many people got your W-2? Put your state, put your W-2, put your state, put your W-2. And I just wanted to let you know that tax season is opening because of the one big beautiful bill. Can I get a hashtag one big beautiful bill? We're going to have some of the largest tax returns ever. We're going to have some of the largest tax returns ever. They say the tax returns are going to go up $1,000 per person per family, on average anywhere from $3,000 to $4,000. I've heard about $2,000 stimulus, terrific tariff checks. I've heard about $2,000 stimulus, terrific tariff check, funded by the Donald Trump tariffs, funded by the Trump economy, lower inflation. And I'm going to get to Maxine Waters absolutely roasting herself. Did y'all see absolute Maxine Waters making a fool of herself on DC? We got Maxine Waters. We got Tom Homan. We got Kristi Noem. We got Trump. We got Trump. We got more Trump. Double tap. If you came for MAGA, put your hands in the air. Let them stay there. All we do is win Wednesday, man. What a fabulous day, man. Double tap. I'm so excited to get into the news, man. You got Scott Bessent on Washington Hill, on Capitol Hill. It's only a hill. And you know what I predicted? You know, y'all know when we had the 43-day shutdown, I gave context. You know, W chat. We gave context to the chat. And I said, how long do you think this shutdown is going to last? Now, what I said was, now keep in mind, keep in mind that the longest shutdown ever recorded was under the first Donald Trump administration, and it was 35 days. When I asked my chat the question, it had been 22 days of shutdown. And basically the chat room guessed 41 days. That's why I say W chat. We have the best chat. Now remember, my chat room was the one who exposed Nancy Pelosi, right? And now you hear even more investigations. Now I see a Republican senator now going after everybody, now going after more and more people concerning the fraud. Remember, I exposed Ayanna Pressley yesterday. We exposed Ilhan Omar. Nancy Pelosi is stepping down. She's stepping down with $400 million. Donald Trump said we need to investigate because Nancy Pelosi beat the S&P 500 by 15%. I was doing some research about the $100 billion speed rail, light rail here in California. I'm in California. Double tap at the like button. Gavin Newsom is stealing all kind of money. $100 billion in light rail. We got 12 miles built and still no light rail. But $100 billion is gone, just like the $100 million in fire funding is gone. Come to find out, Nancy Pelosi's husband, when he found out that the government was going to fund this light rail, went and bought all of the land up that the light rail was going to be on. Did you guys know that? And then he sold it to Dianne Feinstein's husband. So they've been playing pocket pool with the money here in California. That's why there's $100 billion spent and gone, and we only got 12 miles of rail. So this is the things that we're talking about today. We're talking about how the Democrats is just throwing away the 2026. At some point, we're going to discuss whether or not the Democrats truly want to win ever again. I don't think they want to win ever again. I don't think they want to win ever again. We're going to talk about Nicki Minaj. We're going to talk about the SAVE Act. We're going to talk about voter ID, Abu Dhabi peace talks, Abu Dhabi Denali lobby. We got a lot to talk about today. You know what I'm saying? Double tap, hit the like button. Where y'all want to go first? I want to go more to this ICE topic I was talking about. When we was talking about ICE, ICE and Don Lemon, the Don Lemon arrest, we got the Don Lemon arrest and the updates on Don Lemon. I got some updates on the Don Lemon. Where's the Don Lemon? We got Don Lemon. We got ICE being called all type of names, all type of names. Voter fraud on the highest scale. You know what I'm saying? We got children being, what's the word we're going to use? What they doing to the kids. So on Friday, over the weekend, we had no Kings protests, ICE out protests, included school-age children, right? And the thing about that is what we've argued here on this channel is the problem is that these kids don't have the proper intellect or the proper education to make a decision on whether or not to be Democrat or Republican. So it's kind of, I don't want to, the word we were using the word yesterday that they particularly don't like, but let's say it's intense persuasion going on to underage individuals who don't have their full faculties, right? And I believe that we said we wasn't going to have that anymore, right? I believe that we said that we wasn't going to have that anymore. Let's kick it off with some ICE chaos. Let's kick it off with some ICE chaos. How y'all feeling this morning? Double tap. We need the likes. We need the likes early. We need the like. Hey, everybody, let's do some shout outs in the building, man. Patrick, I see you, Pat. Let's shout out to Patrick. Shout out to you. Thank you. Who's that? Leo. Shout out to Leo in the building. Shout out to you. Shout out to Julius. Shout out to Julius and Leo sending out shout outs in the chat. Double tap at the like button. Thank you, everybody, for being here. Double fist bump for Trump. Shout out to you, Leo. Double tap at the like button. Like, share with a like-minded person, man. Like, share, and subscribe with a like-minded person, man. That's what we're going to do, man. Like and share and subscribe with a like-minded person as we get into the goodness. We get into the goodness. That is the purpose of my podcast. Let's get into the goodness. We got so much. Let's crank it up. This is Ice Heat Overdrive. We're locking in on a 3-point structure. You know what I'm saying? Lead story, ICE crisis, Don Lemon, Tom Homan, 700 agents pulled down, okay, because they kind of say it's ICE crisis. Kristi Noem calls for her impeachment, voter ID, fraud wars, Trump federal election push, Fulton raids, debunked 2020 claims, and Geo Policy close. Abu Dhabi, Denali lobby, Russia-Ukraine, trilateral peace talks, now fully amped with the fresh Maxine Waters roast baked in. Straight from today's fiery House Financial Services hearing where she clashed hard with Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent over tariffs, inflation, housing costs, demanding, can you shut him up? Can you shut him up? No, I was right. Can you shut him up? How old is Maxine Waters, man? I think she 89,000 year old. I think she 89,000 years old, man. How old is Put her age in the chat. How old is Maxine Waters? 87, man. I said 89 there. You know, it was 87. When was she born, man? 87. Oh man. 87 years old, and she's trying to challenge the Treasury Secretary on tariffs. It has no understanding of the current climate. GDP 4% and rising. First time in years, man. Double tap at the like button, man. First time in years. Inflation, they predicted inflation to go to 7 and 8% under the Trump tariffs and the Trump economy. Inflation down from 3%. Inflation down from 3% to 2.7. We're adding jobs. GDP is growing. The tariffs are working. The tariffs are working. We got Mr. Toyota sitting down having a one-on-one with President Trump. All we do is win. All I'm doing is listen to wins on All We Do Is Win Wednesday. Mr. Toyota sitting down with President Trump, Prime Minister, newly elected Prime Minister of Japan, both agreeing to the Trump tariffs and agreeing to invest trillions of dollars into America across 5 states, 5 brand new auto plants. Under the Trump tariffs, under the Trump economies. The Trump tariffs is what Trump is using as leverage to bring down costs for drugs in the midst of the ACA failure. You know, ACA, the Affordable Care Act, Obamacare. Let's say Obamacare. Obama, your mama, the king of Wakanda. You know what I'm saying? That died on December 31st. No more Obamacare. But we didn't kill it. We gotta give the credit what credit is due. Biden, Sleepy Joe, made the subsidies temporary, even though he could have made them permanent. He made the subsidies temporary, even though he could have made them permanent, but he didn't. And just to contrast with policy, Donald Trump actually made his tax cuts permanent with the one big beautiful bill, because liberals and Democrats may argue, you know, they may rebel rouse. Well, because I'm going to give you a good juxtaposition. So Biden passed the bill to get the subsidies temporary. When he passed and wrote that legislation, why not make them permanent like Trump did when he made the tax cuts permanent? See, under Biden extended the Trump tax cuts. Why do we call them the Trump tax cuts? Because they came from the first Trump administration. Why is this important? Because Biden and Democrats are supposed to be opposed to each other, but when Biden gained presidency and was able to pass legislation, he didn't get rid of the Trump tax cut. I hear people throwing around. I hear Democrats. The other day, somebody was saying, "Go after all the billionaires," but wait a minute. Biden didn't get rid of the Trump tax cuts. I heard leftists no spamming in the chat, man. No spamming in the chat, man. No spamming in the chat, man. All right. No spamming in the chat, man. Double tap at the like button. Double tap at the like button. Where was I at? Where was I at, y'all? Somebody remind me so I could continue to go back in. Somebody remind me so I continue to go back in. Nancy Pelosi, voter fraud. Somebody put it in the chat. Where was I at so I continue to go back in? You know what I'm saying? Double tap at the like button, man. How's everybody doing today? How's everybody doing today? It's been a hell of a research today, man. We talked a lot about the 2020 election the other day. We're going to get into that. I'm excited to get into that. We're going to start with ICE chaos. I was looking for Don Lemon. We're going to start with ICE chaos. And then we're going to start with ICE chaos. And then we're going to get into that Maxine Waters. That Maxine Waters is hilarious. That Maxine Waters, somebody said, Terry, that's what we're going to get into with the Maxine Waters, with her debacle on Washington, Capitol Hill. Double tap at the like button. ICE arrests observers after Minneapolis vehicle chase. The Tuesday arrest occurred amid Operation Metro Surge, a Trump administration effort targeting criminals and gang members. Double tap at the like button. Let's get into this podcast, everybody. ICE chaos. Lemon, Homan, Noem. 700 ICE agents have been removed from Minneapolis, Minnesota. A lot of people might be happy about that. If you're happy about the fact that the federal government, but what we talked about, remember, we may see the federal government have to come back, because what I told you is that they only have 600 police in Minneapolis, right? Remember, we said that. So what we're reporting today is we have a drawdown. Don Lemon is reporting a crisis. I'm reporting a drawdown. We're moving on because we had some capitulation on side of the Minnesota authorities. Now, remember, on this channel, what we do is we seek to educate so that we create an educated and intelligent electorate, right? So one of the things we've been doing since the beginning, since ICE has been getting 90% negative news on the traditional media, here on independent media, I've been giving you the 1-2 of what actually has been happening. 600,000 deportees by ICE in 2025. When Tom Homan was asked, he can say with certainty that 80% of the 600,000 deported in 2025 were criminals. Why is this important? It's important because all 600,000 deported in 2025, 80% criminal, were no incident, no deaths, no incidents on both sides. The only incident in 2025 was the ICE shooting where immigrant got shot by ICE Watch protester in Dallas. But as far as any ICE violence, ICE on immigrant violence, there was no ICE on immigrant violence despite 600,000 deportees. Now, how can we say with certainty that there were 80% of them were criminals? It's what I've been teaching on my channel since the beginning of the negative information rollout by the traditional media. Tom Homan and Homeland Security, what they do is they've been going from state to state with a role and with the roster. And if they don't have a role in a roster of deportation orders of immigrants who have committed crimes during the process as becoming citizens, right? Unfortunately, if you come here and you're not a citizen and you get arrested for a crime and found guilty, you are ineligible to become a citizen and you have to return back to your country of origin. You are given what is called deportation orders by immigration judge. So what's happened up until now, just to educate the audience, and how do you get 600,000 individuals deported in 1 year? I reported to you in New Orleans, 5,000 individuals arrested in several days. I reported to you in North Carolina, Operation Charlotte's Web, 10,000 individuals arrested in several days. How are we being this successful? How is ICE arresting thousands of individuals in days? It's not because they're doing detective work. It's because they know exactly where they are and they're able to sweep them up quickly without any incident, without any violence on both sides. 600,000 to the tune, just to echo my sentiment and bolster my argument, how successful ICE has been. right? We're focusing on, just like remember with the drug boat was blown up. I kept asking, how many drug boats were blown up? How many drug boats were blown up? When I did the story on the Venezuelan drug boat in the double tap, the second missile strike, that drug boat that had 13 Trinidad Agua drug members on there, I asked the audience, how many drug, because they didn't understand that these were standing orders from the Department of War in Pete Hegseth. At the time, there were 25 drug boats blown up. Up till now, there's been 30 drug boats blown up. Before we invaded and got and captured Maduro, there were 30 drug boats blown up and 107 kills in those 30 drug boats. But you only know about Pretty and Renee. No one is talking about the 600,000 successful deportees. No one talked about the 25 drug boats that were blown up and the over 100 kills. How many oil tankers were seized? See, when we had to talk about the oil tanker, and when the traditional media who was opposed to our President Trump wanted you to know about the oil tanker, they didn't tell you how many oil tankers have been seized, that these were standing orders from Biden. How about if I told you that these were standing orders from Biden and not even from Trump? 25 oil tankers had been seized at the time when you heard about the oil tanker. Do you understand what I'm saying? 25 oil tankers have been seized, 30 drug boats when you heard about the drug boat, and you only are hearing about Renee Good and Alex Pretty. You're not hearing about the fact that 600,000, ICE has been so successful. They want you to believe ICE is not trained. ICE is an acronym, just like FBI, ATF. ICE has been so successful in keeping the people safe, keeping themselves. See, the numbers don't lie. When you see the argument that I'm making and why I'm laying the foundation with those drug boats and those oil tankers, because I know a lot of people don't have this information. They're saying to themselves, wow, I didn't know it was that many drug boats. I didn't know it was 30 drug boats that the Navy SEALs had blown up and over 100 kills. I didn't know that. I didn't know there was 600,000 deportees in 2025 without violence, without incident. This puts in context the ICE crisis, doesn't it? This puts in context the ICE crisis, doesn't it? When you hear these type of facts that you can't dispute, right now, go to your cell phone. Right now, go to your Apple Watch. Right now, go to your laptops. Run fast. This is what they told Alex Pretty. Come now. We need backup at Glam Donuts. Backup now. So right now, run. Do the numbers like I've done. Tom Homan just said it, 600,000 deportees successfully by ICE without incident in 2025. And then we get to Minnesota. And then we get to why there's a 700 ICE agent drawdown in Minnesota. See how I'm breaking this down? See, no one is breaking this down to you. I know some intelligent people have been wondering, why the violence in Minnesota? It's connected to the fraud. They're trying to distract from the fraud. Why the violence in Minnesota? Why? If I may not like this gentleman, but he's making a good point. 600,000 deportees successfully without injury. So what happened? He's making a good point. 600,000 deportees without injury, but yet and still we get to Minnesota and then we have an issue. So what happens? So what happens is, ladies and gentlemen, we go state to state. And what we do is we go in with a roster, and then another thing that we do is just like the federal government do on Law and Order SVU, your favorite TV show, one of your favorite TV shows, we work in conjunction. You heard a joint task force? Joint task force. We all familiar with the JTF, right? Joint task force. This is how people get arrested. This is how crime is done in America via joint task force, FBI, ATF, DEA, and local police, because local police are on the ground and they know where the criminals are. But most times when these are big enough crimes like RICOs and whole gangs, you're going to need backup, right? And typically they're going to end up with federal charges. So the federal government would come in over the local. So what happens with ICE, the federal government, just like FBI, ATF, ICE comes to the state authorities and says, and this is what's taking place now, and why you see a drawdown in Minnesota, why you're going to see less violence, and it could have been like this. Same thing with the 43-day shutdown. They never, right now we're on a continuing resolution in the stopgap bill. You never had to have a shutdown. We don't have to be in shutdown now. You never had to have violence in Minnesota. We don't have to have violence now. So what we do is we go from state to state. So we go to New Orleans, we go to North Carolina, and we say to the governor, we need access to your prisons. We need access to your jails. What do you need, Mr. President? Well, I need to know all of the immigrants that you have in prison. I'm going to find out whether or not they're here legally, in the process of being here legally or not. I need to see everybody that you have on your welfare. Now, remember, Keith Ellison was arguing with the media saying Donald Trump doesn't care about the fraud. He wants our information and data. Yeah, like he's doing in every state, Keith Ellison. You're not special, Minnesota. The one thing special about Minnesota is the fraud. The fraud, Keith Ellison. So we go to Minnesota, just like we went to New Orleans, just like we went to North Carolina. Hey, I need a list. I need these individuals. We're going to be out of Minnesota in 7 days. We were out of North Carolina in 7 days. We were out of New Orleans in 5 days. Is everybody listening? This is so important. This is so important. These facts on the ground are important. Governor Walz, we were in and out of North Carolina in 10 days. We were in and out of New Orleans, Louisiana in several days. We were in and out of Memphis, Tennessee in several days. Why can they be in and out so quickly? Because governors and local municipalities have given them access based on federal constitutional rights and judge immigration orders. They agree. They agree. Yes, we agree with the federal government coming in and getting the immigrants out of our prison system, immigrants who happen to be on welfare, immigrants who are receiving Medicaid. That's what Keith Ellison is arguing, and they're saying is authoritarian. No, how many people disagree on the right and the left? How many people can disagree with Homeland Security and ICE showing up to every state asking the governor for assistance? Governor, I need you to give me all of the immigrants that you have incarcerated. Now, I have what is called a Doge team. You don't have to spend money to figure out which of those immigrants are here illegally or have committed a crime that's going to issue them to be deported. I'm going to do that with my Doge team. But with my Doge team needs access to the data. And we won in Washington. Remember, we won in what? We've already gone to the Supreme Court. Why we have violence in Minnesota is Tim Walz, Jacob, and you heard them say that. Tim Walz, just like Pritzker in Illinois and Chicago, have told police to stand down and have told local and state municipalities to not work with the federal government. I play video where the state prison system of Minnesota said, I will only honor bench warrants from a judge. I will not honor immigration judge deportation orders. And Tom Homan said they let 500 people go free that we could have arrested very quickly without violence. So instead of Minnesota cooperating with the federal government, allowing the federal government who has supremacy in law, who is empowered by the Constitution and obligated to do the duty to clean up and close the border, the mandate that the American people gave Donald Trump, they said no. They told police to stand down. And then politicians, I showed a video where politicians in Minnesota are leading ICE watch recruitment. So you got to think about the math and the violence, right? The violence is not organic. Remember, I played that. Think about the math and the violence. You have a governor who refuses to work with the feds. You have a mayor who tells police to stand down. Then you have a congressman who's leading ICE watch recruitment, and he's training citizens to follow federal officers, write down their license plate. I played a video for you yesterday where once they get the license plate, in my chat, my chat educated me that they have a database. They're digitally chronicling this information. I'm so old. I thought they were writing it down. I thought they were writing it down. No, man. No. They are chronicling this digitally. They have an Excel spreadsheet. And that is how Alex Pretty was called to that situation. That's how Renee Good was called to that situation, because of the style of groups that think about how all these things have to come together in a perfect storm for these deaths, for these unaliving events to happen. This never happens. You don't have these protests. You don't have ICE Watch writing down license plates and things like that, because they would never know where ICE was if local municipalities were cooperating and working in conjunction like they've done in every other state. ICE has a list and addresses. The morning of Alex Pretty unaliving, do you guys know what happened? ICE agents showed up, and it makes sense if you've read the Signal back check group text. ICE agents showed up early that morning in a burgundy Durango at Glam Donuts. They had a warrant for an Ecuadorian for domestic violence. This is the worst. These are the worst type of pieces of shit. The type of people who beat up on women and children. He had a warrant. He hadn't got his time. He was guilty of domestic violence, and he hadn't done his time. Of all the things that you could be pissed about, not only was he supposed to self-deport, but he hadn't done his time. He was guilty of domestic violence, and he hadn't done his time. So the ICE agents show up in a burgundy Durango in the morning, and there's no incident. Because why? There's no ICE watch. The ICE agents show up at Glam Donuts, burgundy Durango, with their warrant, looking for an individual, not anybody that they meet. They put out this information like ICE is just showing up, grabbing people off the street at Home Depot. That's not what's happening. ICE shows up to Glam Donuts because they know where he works. They know where he is. He's a criminal. Most times police know where the criminals are because they have a warrant. He's been to court. He got convicted of domestic violence. He should be in jail or he should be going home. That's how we know where he is, ladies and gentlemen. Do you guys know ICE is not just showing up to random places? We know where he is because he's a convicted criminal of domestic violence. And in the system, it told us he works here. And I'll be good, googly moogly, he actually works here. Do you guys understand the ludicrousness of the whole argument? The police show up with the warrant to arrest somebody for domestic violence, and he actually is here. He's here. He's here. The guy in the picture, the guy on the warrant is here. Why is anybody upset? Why is anybody upset? So the owner of Glam Donuts refuses to open the door for ICE. ICE does not say one word. ICE says, have a good morning, and gets back in the car. Mrs. Perfect Timing in the building. Double tap, hit the like button. MAGA Wednesday. Hey, all we do is win. How you doing, Mrs. Perfect Timing? ICE gets back in the burgundy Durango and leaves. After ICE leaves, right, they don't have any confrontation. There's no Minnesota ICE Watch. They have a picture. They have a name. The owner is not cooperating. They leave peacefully. They leave, and they know they're going to come back with backup. What transpires is the owners of Glam Donuts, how many people know this story? The owners of Glam Donuts send out a group chat signal message to Minnesota ICE Watch that says, backup. Hurry, we need backup now. Burgundy Dodge Durango, ICE agents staging. Hurry, come quick. Why are they saying? Because they are trying to get Alex, just like they got Renee, there before the ICE agents return and they can interrupt. Do you guys understand? They have this back channel communication because they've written down colors of cars and license plates. They send out the information in an effort to get 50 or more people. This is why every time I show you a video, you see all these white people and you hear all these whistles, but no one has ever asked, well, shit, how are they there? How do they? They are writing down the license plates. They are writing down the color of the vehicles. They send out a message in the back chat, and then everybody drives over there very fast. Then they pull up before ICE agents are able to stage and set up and arrest the person they have a warrant for. And the whole goal of Minnesota ICE Watch is to cause enough confusion and distraction so that the person that they have a warrant for can escape. The other part of this is the physicality. I've showed you pamphlets where they train them to physically assault federal agents in order that they hopefully can trigger what happened with Alex and Renee. They call it the Leo response. I argue that the violence that you saw was purposeful and by design. Let's keep reading today. Let's get into it. ICE arrests observers after Minneapolis vehicle chase. So you guys understand the foundation I just laid? When we got to Minneapolis, Tom Homan asked Tim Walz, hey, give me access to your jails. Give me the list of individuals on Medicaid. And Tim Walz said no. Not only that, he told state and local police to stand down and do not assist federal officers. And then he told state and federal police, local police, to not stop the citizens as they got rowdy in the streets. And now that's how you got the unrest and the violence. And you got people like Renee and Alex believing they could do whatever they want in the city streets because police were not policing the citizens. So let's keep going. The Tuesday arrest occurred amid Operation Metro Surge, a Trump administration effort targeting criminals, gang members, and fraud suspects in sanctuary cities like Minneapolis. Protesters have blocked streets and tracked ICE vehicles, calling the raids an occupation, while federal officials highlight arrests and evasion tactics like looping a traffic circle to distract activists. Tensions stem from January deaths of 2 U.S. citizens in confrontations with agents. DHS labeling some protester actions as domestic terrorism. It's about time. Let's go, Pam Bondi. Let's go, DHS, Tom Homan, and Kristi Noem. An ongoing demand for DHS Secretary Kristi Noem's resignation. That's one of the things we're going to start with. LMAO, an ICE vehicle, was seen endlessly doing laps around a traffic circle in Minnesota, distracting leftists while the rest of ICE convoy moved on to the next target. Arrests were then made uninterrupted. Well played, ICE. This is what we're dealing with out here on the Minnesota streets. We got to trick these individuals because they are not aware that what they're doing is breaking. And people, can we just let them? This is the one thing I've been saying too. That's not. Now I feel it's unfair by the liberal media that's not explaining to these people. Do they know that they're not? These are federal arrests. I think CNN should be held accountable for not telling you that when you're arrested by ICE, that's a federal arrest. These are going to be federal charges. This is going to be a federal crime in a federal court with a federal judge and a federal jail. And they have a 90% conviction. This is what MSNBC in Minnesota could be, MSNBC and CNN should be telling you. That's what they should be educating you, that when you participate in ICE Watch and you are arrested, you're not being arrested by the police. It's different. You're not going to a local jail. You're not going to a state prison. Do they know this? Do they know this? Let's get into it, you guys.
Around the rosy, a pocket full of posies, ashes, ashes, we all fall down. Ring around the rosy.
So here it is. The ICE agents going in a circle to playing Ring Around the Rosie with neighbors to distract ICE Watch. The whole goal was to allow other ICE agents to move on to another location. We put it on mute because we don't like the music. You know what I'm saying? You got to pay for the music. You feel what I'm saying? So they saying it's ICE crisis, but basically ICE has figured these guys out, and we are now employing low-level elementary school tactics to distract them, and we have Tom Homan drawing down 700 individuals. This teeing up another video. ICE just pulled handguns on professional leftist stalkers following them in Minneapolis, making arrests. Yes, these people are organized criminals who only have intentions to ambush police, make mass arrests. That's what we reporting this morning. ICE chaos, ICE crisis, Don Lemon, Kristi Noem, Tom Homan, 700 ICE agents pull out of Minnesota. Will that stop the violence? Has it escalated too high? Put a 1 in the chat if you think this will help. Let's go. Purpose of my podcast. Double tap at the like button, like, share, subscribe, and join the channel to support.
I need you to back up. You need to back up. Stay safe.
They're pointing handguns at the drivers in the vehicle right now.
Hey, get back. You guys need to stay back. You can record, but you gotta be back.
Get out. Hey, open the fucking door.
I need you to back up a little bit more.
Just comply.
Hey, get back.
Hey, get the fuck back.
Back. Hey, no, don't get on the road. Stay back over here. Listen. You guys can take pictures, you just need to stay back.
You know what I want to break down today? Well, we haven't broke down because we had some tragedy, right? You know we haven't broke down, and I know some intelligent people have been wondering, why is everybody there? How are they there before ICE? Why is everybody walking around with cameras? What is going on? It's the Minnesota ICE Watch that is trying to make them doing their job impossible. So every time they show up somewhere, there are 50 individuals with whistles and cameras hurling racial slurs. Yes, racial slurs. I'm going to play it for you after this video.
I see the press. You're good.
Checking for ID. That's fine. I see
you.
you. I recognize you. Push the creds down. You're fine. If you got creds, pull them out.
I got you. Thank you.
Legitimate, please. We're for ID. Okay. So you know, these guys were all threatening us yesterday with handguns. So
These people are threatening you with handguns?
Yeah.
Handguns, like
We
threatening
knew.
to shoot
We
us.
know.
So
Oh, you mean like with hand symbols?
pulling them out, trying to engage us.
Pulling out literal guns.
No. Assuming that we were going to do something. So that's why they're being ID'd right now.
This is what they got to deal with. Thank God no one else got hurt, brothers and sisters. Thank God no one else got hurt. You know what I'm saying? ICE chaos, ICE crisis, Perfect Summer Podcast with the blast, showing everybody what's going on. This another one.
Be quiet. Jesus Christ. Hey, let him move so I can get him out. People are trying to get their kids to school, and you're out here threatening and terrorizing people. You human trafficking Nazi pieces of shit.
Do you hear this? It's almost unbelievable. It's almost unbelievable. Do you see this?
Get the fuck out of our city. We do not want you here. Leave our city. Get out of our city, you aggressive, violent, murdering Nazi scum!
Who's aggressive?
Put your weapon
Who's aggressive? Who's aggressive?
Hey, I need you to back up. You need to back up.
Who's aggressive?
away, you baby! You fucking pathetic piece of shit! You kill our neighbors, you're human traffickers! We do not want you here!
These are real antagonists. His goal is to cause an incident. They want the violence. I've been arguing this. How many people put a one in the chat? If you think they want the violence, so these are roadblocks set up in Minnesota. So ICE is going around with their operations and they're impeded by these roadblocks. And then when they come through the roadblocks, they have to carefully and slowly navigate their way through the roadblocks so no one gets hurt. This is what you're watching. You're watching ICE going on an operation, and I showed you yesterday where they had roadblocks blocking a big rig, and one of the Minnesota ICE Watch stopped the car with some Americans. A lot of people in the chat be like, "Oh, they arrested an American citizen. They arrested an American citizen." So what I saw the other day is ICE Watch stopped an American citizen, a whole family. And they said, the reason why we stopped you is because your license plate was flagged as an ICE vehicle. This is how bad it's gotten in Minnesota. They believe they have the right to stop cars. They create blockades, and they are stopping vehicles who they believe are ICE. Then they've been trained to put white bodies in front of the vehicles, put white bodies in front of federal agents. They stopped the car yesterday on camera, and they said, we're stopping you because your license plate says it's registered to. Isn't it the same thing that ICE is doing? It's a selective outrage. It's a selective outrage. Let's take a look at this.
Put away your weapons, you douchebag. No one is threatening you. Put your fucking car so he can get out. Be quiet. Jesus Christ. Hey, let him move so I can get him out. People are trying to get their kids to school, and you're out here threatening and terrorizing people. You human trafficking Nazi pieces of shit. Get the fuck out of our city. We do not want you here. Let's go. Leave our city. Get out of our city, you aggressive, violent, murdering Nazi scum. Leave our city. Put your weapon away, you baby. You fucking pathetic piece of shit. You kill our neighbors, you're human traffickers. We do not want you here. Get out of our city. Fuck you. Get out of our city. Back up. Nazis out. Put away your weapons. No one is threatening you, you pathetic babies. Go away.
Unbelievable. ICE.
Put away your weapons, you douchebag.
ICE crisis, ICE chaos. Y'all tell me in the chat. ICE crisis, ICE chaos. Y'all tell me in the chat, man. Double tap, hit the like button. More on this is why Minneapolis has been nominated for the 2026 Nobel Peace Prize. Let's take a look. Let's take a look. Let's take a look, ladies and gentlemen. Let's take a look. Y'all want to see some real? Oh my goodness. No, we ain't doing that. This is what we all Minnesota. Remember we talked about when they got old homeless people out there. They got people from Justice for. Remember we talked about those signs. Where did they get those signs from? ICE, look at those signs. Who printed them? How fast did they print them? I want to show something. As we talk about this. I remember I was telling you about the walkouts on Friday, and I talked to you about how they were manipulating young people. Well, my argument is I feel like these young people are being manipulated. I got something to back that up. So right there, I just showed a video, and I said it looked like they got homeless people. It looked like they brought home. Did you see that old man walking? He didn't look like he knew where he was at. We know we here on Purpose of a Podcast, we broke the story about the paid protesters, but it goes even deeper, right? We broke the story about the paid protesters. Trump already knows about the efforts of certain outside entities. I'm not going to say the name. It starts with the so, it ends with the roast. You know what I'm saying? And Trump said he already going to investigate that. So this is what I said. It looks like they don't even know what they're doing there. And just to bolster that argument, I got this video right here, right? And I got some other video I want to show about how these young Americans have been manipulated by adults. And I thought we just talked about that. I thought we just said that was not okay, right? But it seems it's okay for the Democrats to do it. What was that rapper? What was that? He said, it's cool when you do it, but when I do it, right? It's cool when you do it, but when I do it, didn't that rapper say that? So it's bad when certain individuals have influence over younger individuals, and it's bad when men have influence over other individuals, but it's okay for the Democrats to influence younger individuals, impressionable minds who may not have full faculties of their thoughts. Let's get into it, ladies and gentlemen. ICE persuasion. Let's go.
What are we out here protesting today?
We're protesting ICE.
Why?
Because ICE is deporting citizens, and that's not
Can you name one U.S. citizen that was deported by ICE?
not off the top of my head.
All right, so she can't name one. Is there anything else ICE is doing wrong?
They're killing innocent people.
Like who?
Renee Good.
Renee Good? Wasn't she actually resisting arrest?
No,
She wasn't following lawful orders. So when the officer said, "Get the fuck out of your car," did she listen?
no, she's trying
Okay,
to
so she
protect-
didn't listen to federal lawful orders by a federal agent violating Code 1014 of United States Code, Code 18, Section USC 18. That's about 2 years in prison. So she already violated it, right? I mean, that's he said it. It was on the video.
but she still died.
Yeah, because she backed up. She put her car in reverse. She had two options: let it get stuck in the snow behind her, or put it in park. But she actually did not do either of those. Put it in drive and floored it.
There you go. Let's go,
Trying
baby.
to kill the ICE officer.
Don't forget, her wife said, drive, baby, drive. And if she was guilty for 2 years, that means her wife was aiding and abetting, and Becca Good needs to be prosecuted for the death of Renee Good. Let's go, ladies and gentlemen. Let's go,
In
MAGA.
front of the vehicle.
She's just trying to protect herself.
So driving into a federal officer trying to protect herself.
She didn't run into him.
He suffered internal bleeding.
All right, can you grab the camera?
All right, guys. So liberal can't answer my questions. Let's go to the next one.
Fire, fire, fire. Don't even know what you're protesting. Don't even know what happened. That's why I love my channel. That's what I do all day. All we do is win, win, win. And if you came for MAGA, put your hands in the air. Let them stay there. M-A-G-A. Run it back. Perfect.
What are we out here protesting today?
We're protesting ICE.
Why?
Because ICE is deporting citizens, and that's not
Can you name one U.S. citizen that was deported by ICE?
not off the top of my head.
All right, so she can't name one. Is there anything?
Let's pause it right there as we react to the video. This is ICE Out protest over the weekend and on Friday. These are school-age individuals who were allowed to leave campus despite your tax dollars paying for a full day of school on Friday. Do you hear what I'm saying? I said these are school individuals who were allowed to leave school despite your tax dollars paying for them to be in school. No one gave permission. This was not a paid day off of school. They have half days. They could have did it on a half. They purposely, in protest, left school on a day when they were required to be in school, paid to be in school, where these inner city schools who are supposed to be low on money were giving dollars by the taxpayers for them to be in school. Teachers were paid to teach them that day. And instead of teaching them, they were allowed to leave to protest. But you would think that if they were going to do this, they would at least, because it's a fucking school, they would at least educate the damn kids. They would at least educate the damn kids on what the fuck they are protesting. No, they don't even do that. Why would they do that if they're not going to teach them on the day they're supposed to be taught, when they have minimum days? Because we going through a fucking, drawback on budgets and money. So a lot of schools have minimum days. They don't do it on a minimum day. They do it purposely on a fully scheduled school day where those teachers got paid to teach your students. And they out here and they don't even know why they out here. Let's go.
ICE is deporting citizens, and that's not
Can you name one U.S. citizen that was deported by ICE?
not off the top of my head.
All right, so she can't name one. Is there anything else ICE is doing wrong?
They're killing innocent people.
Like who?
Renee Good.
Renee Good? Wasn't she actually resisting arrest?
No,
She wasn't following lawful orders. So when the officer said, "Get the fuck out of your car," did she listen?
no, she's trying
Okay,
to
so she
protect
didn't listen to federal lawful orders by a federal agent violating Code 1014 of United States Code, Code 18, Section USC 18. That's about 2 years in prison. So she already violated it, right? I mean, he said it. It was on the video.
but she still died.
Yeah, because she backed up. She put her car in reverse. She had two options: let it get stuck in the snow behind her, or put it in park. But She actually did not do either of those, put it in drive and floored it.
Okay.
Trying to kill the ICE officer in front of the vehicle.
She's just trying to protect herself.
So driving into a federal officer trying to protect herself?
She didn't run into him.
He suffered internal bleeding.
All right, can you round this up,
All right, guys. So liberal can't answer my questions. Let's go to the next one.
That's what it is, ladies and gentlemen. That's what it is, ladies and gentlemen. I just want, as we get into this ICE and we get into the protest, you know what I'm saying? Now look at what I showed you before. Look at that old man. There's a reason why they got the music too. They don't want people like me. Look at that old lady. Do you think? Look at these. Look at the people I'm pointing out to you. And as we go from a video where an interview, independent media is asking, what do you know about what you're protesting? What do you know about what you're protesting? So I'm gonna go to this video of this is why we're so great. This is why we're Minnesota. This is why we're gonna get a Nobel Peace Prize. And I just want you to look at the elderly people in the crowd, and you tell me whether or not these elderly people know. Look at the young people. Does he know what he's doing? Look at this elderly person. Look at this elderly person. They don't even look engaged. These people don't even look. Look at this person. Look at this elderly person. Doesn't he look homeless? He's not chanting. He there because he's getting paid a couple dollars and someone told him to walk. Look at this fool right here. Look at these fools right here. Look at old boy right there. This is a homeless man. Put a 1 in the chat if you agree that this is a homeless man. This is a homeless man. They done wrapped around a Muslim. Do you think he even knows that this is like a Muslim scarf? And they gave him a sign and they put a couple dollars and some cigarettes in his pocket. This is horrible. This is horrible. This is horrible. This is what's going on. So it's one thing to say, but they don't think we're going to break it down because they got the music. I cut the music off. They don't think we're going to break down the video because of the music. So is that old man, is he really protesting or is he homeless? Got kids out there. AI images. I just want to juxtapose this video with the other video of individuals who don't know what they're protesting and why they're out there, and then show you, look at that old man. Look at that old man. This is the bomb that most powerful video ever, exposing decades of Democrats saying the exact same thing about illegal immigration that Republicans say now. Let's get into it. Remember, can I see a W, chat? Remember the chat. I brought up Obama deaths during his immigration push. Obama got more deportations than Trump and more deaths. So I brought up the 64 deaths, and somebody said it was more than that. And I'm like, man, my chat be on top of it. My chat is W chat, best chat in the game. Thank you, guys. I brought up the 64 deaths where he let them people die in containment, and they said it was like 100, but Obama had more deaths than that one incident than you're reporting, perfect. And that's not counting the drones. I know people might think we're talking about we're talking about deportees die in custody, and I know about the 64, and then my chat corrected me. No, it's 100, but that's not the only people who died under Obama's immigration push. And I'm like, man, for real? Got the best chat, man. W chat.
Democrats used to believe that border security and immigration enforcement were just common sense ideas. Don't believe it? Take their word for it.
Americans are right to demand better border security and better enforcement of the immigration laws.
We simply cannot allow people to pour into the United States undetected, undocumented, unchecked.
We've had 5 million undocumented workers come over the borders. It has become an extraordinary problem.
All Americans, not only in the states most heavily affected, but in every place in this country, are rightly disturbed by the large numbers of illegal aliens entering our country. And we must do more to stop it.
Biden, yes or no? Would you allow the cities to ignore the federal law?
No.
Any city should listen to the Department of Homeland Security. The city made a mistake not to deport someone that the federal government strongly felt should be deported. Just because your child gets across the border, that doesn't mean the child gets to stay.
We do not think the comprehensive health care benefits should be extended to those who are undocumented workers and illegal aliens. We do not want to do anything to encourage more illegal immigration.
People say, well, why can't you stop illegal immigrants from coming here? And the number one answer we give is when they come here, they can get jobs, get benefits against the law because of fraud.
Illegal immigration is wrong, plain and simple.
Open borders. You're doing away with the concept of a nation state.
Our nation, like all nations, has the right and obligation to control its borders, and no matter how decent they are, no matter their reasons, the 11 million who broke these laws should be held accountable.
For decades, these weren't controversial or radical ideas. The only thing that changed is them.
Perfect Timing Podcast, #1 podcast on YouTube. I'm about to throw the whole podcast away, ladies and gentlemen. almost threw my whole microphone away. Almost threw my whole microphone away. Did you hear it? Did you see these? Can't believe it. Gotta listen to it again. It just makes me so upset that people had to die. No one had to die. Y'all realize nobody, just like we didn't have to have a shutdown for 43 damn days. We didn't have to have a shutdown. They still signed the continuing resolution. Chuck Schumer's still trying to shut the government down. Oh my God, we didn't have to have nobody die. Listen, brand new to the channel, double tap, hit the like button, like, share, and subscribe. Perfect Timing Podcast. We talking about ICE, crisis, ICE, chaos, manufactured or real.
Democrats used to believe that border security and immigration enforcement were just common sense ideas. Don't believe it? Take their word for it.
Americans are right to demand better border security and better enforcement of the immigration laws. We simply cannot allow people to pour into the United States undetected, undocumented, unchecked.
We've had 5 million undocumented workers come over the borders. It has become an extraordinary problem.
All Americans, not only in the states most heavily affected, but in every place in this country, are rightly disturbed by the large numbers of illegal aliens entering our country. And we must do more to stop it.
Biden, yes or no? Would you allow the cities to ignore the federal law?
No.
Any city should listen to the Department of Homeland Security. The city made a mistake not to deport someone that the federal government strongly felt should be deported. Just because your child gets across the border, that doesn't mean the child.
The city made the mistake. Can we play this for Jacob Fry? Jacob Fry!
No. Would you allow the cities to ignore the federal law?
No.
Any city.
Isn't that sanctuary cities, right? Didn't sanctuary cities come into existence under Biden? Ding, ding, ding. Isn't sanctuary cities a creation of the current Democratic regime? Ding, ding, ding. Sanctuary cities, and then let's listen to Biden. Keep in mind, sanctuary cities, Governor Pritzker, Governor Walsh, Mayor Jacob Fry, Governor Newsom, and the question is, would you allow cities to disregard federal law? What do you mean allow? Why would she ask and frame the question and say allow? Why would the president have power to not allow, right? Would you allow? Huh? What does she mean by allow, right? Let's get into it. He said no, very staunch and stern.
Biden, yes or no? Would you allow the cities to ignore the federal law?
No.
Any city should listen to the Department of Homeland Security. The city made a mistake not to deport someone that the federal government strongly felt should be deported. Just because your child gets across the border, that doesn't mean the child gets to stay.
We do not think the comprehensive health care benefits should be extended to those who are undocumented workers and illegal aliens. We do not want to do anything to encourage more illegal immigration.
People say, well, why can't you stop illegal immigrants from coming here? And the number one answer we give is when they come here, they can get jobs, get benefits against the law because of fraud.
Illegal immigration is wrong, plain and simple.
Open borders. You're doing away with the concept of a nation state.
Our nation, like all nations, has the right and obligation to control its borders, and no matter how decent they are, no matter their reasons, the 11 million who broke these laws should be held accountable.
Our nation has a right to control its border. No, he didn't say right. He said obligation. Didn't Homeland Security under Trump say obligation? And then he said those 11 million people. So this ain't the first time we've dealt with 11 million. The Democrats say 10 million came across during the Kamala Harris-Biden era. MAGA Republicans say anywhere from 25 million, right? Anywhere from 25 million. So this ain't the first time we dealt with this, and Obama got more deaths, more kills, and more deportations.
For decades, these weren't controversial or radical ideas. The only thing that changed is them.
What changed is Trump. What changed is Trump. You know what's so... The cognitive dissonance. What changed is Trump. Do you guys know they had 36 felonies? Did Trump paid his lawyer a check? Michael Cohen, Trump gave Michael Cohen money. This is allegedly, because I don't think they ever really proved it. Why were we talking about the president's sex life? I don't know. Why are we talking about the president's personal sex life? I don't know. He wasn't president. He wasn't at the time. We don't know who he was married to. It wasn't his current wife. So why it came up, I don't know. But they said somehow somebody's personal life, and the time they're trying to teach tolerance during times of Me Too, and they want men to talk about feminism and all this bullshit. Remember the Gillette commercial and toxic masculinity? So at the same time, they say Trump doesn't get to have privacy. In the same token, they're trying to teach privacy and tolerance, right? Trump don't get to have privacy. Private life, past event gets exposed. The most intimate details gets exposed. And somehow the Democratic administration who's in power, who's desperate to keep him out of office, because they stole the election in 2020. We're going to talk about that next. They stole the election in 2020. I've uncovered almost 600,000 votes now in Fulton County. First, we reported 350,000 votes, and now we just learned about another 380,000 votes. The 350,000 votes were on 150 tapes that happened to be lost, and the signatures were not signed. They have a policy. They say they need to be signed, but they said it's okay. And then now today, 380,000 votes without images. They say it's okay because during the time, even though the law has changed, right now today you need to have an image for the vote. But they're saying in 2020, the law said they didn't need to have this image. So almost 600,000 votes that are questionable. I'm not even saying that. Listen to what I'm saying. I'm not even saying that Trump only needed 12,000 votes in Fulton County. And I'm not saying that they cheated. Listen to me. I can't say that. I'm not saying that they cheated, right? I'm saying that we have a report of 350,000 votes and 150 tapes that were lost. They claim that they found the tapes. The thing is about the tapes is they said the tapes were supposed to be signed. 350,000 votes were not signed off. This is a legal requirement of the voter registrar. The registrar asking questions. Did you sign off? No, we didn't sign off. Now today I learned about laser images. 380,000 laser images, and there are no laser images to back up the votes. So I asked, in my research, I went to my AI assistant, and I said, okay, these must be the same votes, right? These 300, and somebody got it wrong, right? Everybody in the chat, somebody got it wrong, right? These 380,000 votes got to be the same, right? These 380,000 votes got to be the same, right? They got to be the same as but no, In my research, what I found out is that these 350,000 votes are not the same as the 380,000 votes. They're two separate vote issues in Fulton County. Now, again, I'm not saying anyone cheated. I'm an adult. I'm from Generation X. You know, in my generation, you get fired. I don't know about you guys, but if you make a mistake at work, you get reprimanded, you get rolled up, and you get fired. So what I am saying to you that there are over 600,000 votes in Fulton County 2020 election that are in question. That's what I'm saying to you. And the FBI has seized documents in Fulton County. The FBI just showed up because people want proof. The FBI just showed up to see. Did you guys know about this? The FBI just showed up to seize documents in Fulton County to dig deeper because 600,000 votes is an awful lot of damn votes. And we're just wondering, when is it going to be okay to discuss the 2020 election? Because so many people told us that we couldn't discuss the 2020 election. And we were idiots for saying that they stole the election. And you are Trumpers. Remember that? Well, I'm a Trumper. Ding, ding, ding. I'm a Trumper. I'm a Trumper. Breaking Fulton County admits 315,000 2020 votes lacked required poll worker signatures. Now, a lot of us have heard of this story. This is compounded by today's story of 380,000 images. First, let's deal with this 315,000 that they admit. 315,000 votes in 2020 lacked required poll worker signatures, a major rule violation. Republicans demand restitution for Rudy Giuliani, hit with over $148 million fine for contesting the Georgia election. This is the registrar. Look, they know they're in trouble. This is internal audit. This is an internal audit. And I'm not even so I said over 600,000. This is 315,000 votes that were not signed off. This is their procedure by law. And then on top of this 315,000, there were 380,000 images separate. So you got to combine them to almost 700,000 votes that are in question. I'm not saying they cheated. I'm just saying that 700,000 votes, almost 1 million, is a goddamn lot of votes to be in question. When the vote was that close and Donald Trump could have been president and Joe Biden damn near ran us into 2 world wars and let 20 million people in.
I've not seen the tapes myself, but we do not dispute that the tapes were not signed. It was a violation of the rule. Since 2020, again, we have new leadership and a new building and a new board and new standard operating procedures. And since then, the training has been enhanced. The poll watchers are trained specifically. They've got to sign the tapes in the morning and they've got to sign the tapes when they're run at the end of the day.
Do y'all hear what everybody could hate all you want? Hate on these facts. Hate on this MAGA fact sack. That's all I want you to do. Drop down and get your eagle on them. Drop down and get your eagle on them. Hate on this MAGA fat sack. Hate on these MAGA facts. Oh, this fat sack. I want you to drop down and get your eagle on. And hate on these MAGA facts. Listen to what she said. She don't deny. Just do the math. These are 315. I ain't even got to the other votes in Fulton County and the corruption that we know exists in Fulton County. Fannie Willis having sex with a married man, hiring that married man, paying that married man $1 million in a federal RICO case against the president. Hallelujah.
I've not seen the tapes myself, but we do not dispute that the tapes were not signed. It was
We do not dispute that the tapes were not signed. For all the naysayers in the chat, all the naysayers, we do not dispute that the tapes were not signed. 350,000 votes.
Of the rule.
That is a violation of the rule. That is a violation of the rule, but they still certified the vote. How do you feel about that, Democrat, Republican, Independent, Liberal, Communist? How do you feel about that? 700,000 questionable votes, and they still certified it.
Myself, but we do not dispute that the tapes were not signed. It was a violation of the rule. Since 2020, again, we have new leadership and a new building and a new board and new standard operating procedures. And since then,
So a lot of people might say, "Oh, they're not talking about 2020." Do you hear what this is? Coughing now. So she acknowledges the 315,000 votes was a mistake and breaking the rule. It was so bad. It wasn't bad enough for Trump to win. Keep in mind, it was not bad enough for Trump to win. He should have won. Keep in mind, it wasn't bad enough for Trump to win, but it was bad enough to fire everybody, get a brand new management team, a brand new SOP. Anybody in the chat, can I get hashtag SOP? Who knows what an SOP is? Who has a job? So it wasn't bad enough to give Trump the election, but it was bad enough to get brand new SOPs, a brand new $30 million facility, brand new management, and a brand new board of directors. So this is what she said. She is scared that she can lose her job. These are appointed positions, elected positions, right? She understands that she can lose her position. So she is acknowledging, ma'am, I don't even want to argue. We did not follow the rule. 315,000 votes were not signed off. But ma'am, please listen. Since 2020, I have created brand new SOPs, brand new management, brand new leadership, and we have a brand new facility. It will never happen again. But Trump stays the loser. Listen.
Since 2020, again, we have new leadership and a new building and a new board and new standard operating procedures. And since then, the training has been enhanced. The poll walkers.
Can you believe this? I don't care. This is nonpartisan. You can't argue this. You can't troll this. This is nonpartisan. She said since 2020, we have a brand new standard operating procedure, brand new manager. And then the last thing she said, so that she doesn't get fired. Listen, you guys, the last thing she said, so that she doesn't get fired, is that we enhanced and improved the training. We enhanced and improved the training so that we wouldn't make this mistake again. But Trump stays the loser. This is not about Republican or Democrat, and it's sad that the Democrats have divided America, that we can't come together on issues like this, because I promise you, listen, everybody, listen, I promise you, this right here is an office meeting, and what you're watching is not partisan. I need you guys to understand, what you're watching is not partisan. This is not Democrat versus Republican. This is an internal meeting inside Georgia. The people interviewing her, they're both on the same side. They both work for voter registration. They're not at odds with each other, but they have been required to do this investigation because the federal government, Donald Trump's FBI and Pam Bondi, is now in Fulton County, and they have raided the voter registrar's office to find out and get to the bottom of the potential fraud. Do you hear me? The words and terminology I'm using. I'm not crucifying anybody because we haven't done the investigation yet. I am saying to you, even if you've seen this video, what is brand new is that Donald Trump, Pam Bondi, DOJ raided Fulton County registrar based on the news I'm going to present to you this morning. These 315,000 votes and the 380,000 images. Let me continue. Since
2020, again, we have new leadership and a new building and a new board and new standard operating procedures. And since then, the training has been enhanced. The poll watchers are trained specifically. They've got to sign the tapes in the morning, and they've got to sign the tapes when they're run at the end of the day.
So they work
when the tapes come back to the hub for, with all the documentation, they are checked again. And if somebody forgot to sign a tape, then Fulton initiates an investigation.
What was the process before? Was it Disneyland? MAGA. You knew the climate, MAGA, because we saw TikTok videos when they were counting the votes. They were in there partying. What was the climate before? Doesn't that sound like logical? You should get upset, Democrat and Republican, nonpartisan. What is she saying? You didn't check before? It doesn't sound like you've added any like multi-level security. It sounds like you've added logical steps, and it makes me wonder, what was the policy before? Let's listen to that again. So let me see if you wonder the same thing. If this is the new policy, listen, you guys, if this is the new policy, then now it makes sense how and why there was 700,000 missing votes in Fulton County, because it sounds like to me you were not checking. So how can we trust the vote? Listen.
Okay. When the tapes come back to the hub for, with all the documentation, they are checked again. And if somebody forgot to sign a tape, then Fulton initiates an investigation. But we don't dispute the allegation.
We don't dispute the allegation. We don't dispute the allegation, man. Who has the best podcast? Who has the best podcast? We don't dispute the allegation. Fulton County seeks return of seized 2020 election materials. Fulton County filed a federal motion on Wednesday to retrieve election ballots, voter rolls, and other 2020 materials seized by FBI agents during a January 28 raid on their Union City hub. Commission Chair Rob Pitts expressed concern, stating, "We do not know where they are." Well, you didn't know before the damn election. You didn't know during the, I just played a video. We concerned with the federal government. We don't know. You didn't know. I just played a video. You never knew. If you know, you know. Commissioner Chair Rob Pitts expressed concern, stating, "We don't know where they are. We don't know who has them." You never did. They could be tampered with, and urged an inventory. The raid, approved by magistrate judge, that's what the Dems, can y'all put that in the chat? Because people be whining. The raid, approved by magistrate judge over alleged violations like improper tabulation, I just played the evidence, and record retention failures, I just played the evidence, has reignited 2020 disputes in the county where Biden's narrow win originated, with conservatives seeing resistance as a guilt signal and Democrats calling it retaliation. What y'all think? This is right now Fulton County Chairman. Remember what I read to you, Rob Pitts. He looked like a Baptist preacher. It's Black History Month. They look like they woke him up, dug him out the grave from the civil rights movement. He looked like he just finished having lunch with Rosa Parks herself. You know what I'm saying? And he's still in office, and he's still trying to tell folk what and pass over these Democratic I don't know what I'm gonna call him, man. Let's just play a video, Mr. Pitts. Come on, Pawpaw.
Well, I'm told that. I mean, I received a call on Monday before last Wednesday, before the raid, that there were going to be arrests in Georgia. Secretary of State, his deputy, Sterling, I believe his name is, me, and 2 or 3 others. That did not happen on Monday. It didn't happen on Tuesday, but lo and behold, on Wednesday, the FBI shows up. And in addition to the FBI showing up, when Tulsi Gabbard showed up, and we'd heard a rumor that she may be coming, I couldn't believe it. But I didn't meet her, didn't talk to her, but she was in fact there. So that leads me to believe, and any rational thinking person, that there's something sinister going on here. There's something.
He's scared, boy. He said they're gonna arrest me. It's something sinister when the police show up and you did something. Not the 350,000, not the 380, not the 700,000 votes, not the mistakes, not the new facility, not the new Santa Police, not the new, none of that shit. No. Some city. Why is Papa? Why Papa still working for the?
Well, I'm told that. I mean, I've gotten up. I received a call on Monday before last Wednesday, before the raid, that there were going to be arrests in Georgia.
Georgia. Georgia. That's what's it. The first thing he said, he don't care about you. He don't care about the vote. I love my job. I love my job. He said, let's listen again. I think it gets better. Some things in life, one, two, they get better with each lick.
I'm told that. I mean, I've gotten up. I received a call on Monday before last Wednesday, before the raid, that there were going to be arrests in Georgia. Secretary of State, his deputy, Sterling, I believe his name is, me, and 2 or 3 others. That did not happen on Monday. It didn't happen on Tuesday. But lo and behold, on Wednesday, the FBI shows up. And in addition to the FBI showing up, when Tulsi Gabbard showed up and we'd heard a rumor that she may be coming, I couldn't believe it. But I didn't meet her, didn't talk to her, but she was in fact there. So that leads me to believe, and any rational thinking person, that there's something sinister going on here. There's something bigger than just the FBI confiscating the records that they took. So that's why I say that. But nothing happened. Now, after the FBI raid on Wednesday, on Friday, I received another call. Actually, it was this Monday. Same source saying that you guys can't relax, even though the FBI has been there and they've confiscated the 700 boxes. Arrests are coming. So you have to wait.
In case you didn't know what this press conference was about, in case you was wondering, because you know that was the next stroke, that was the next question. MAGA, whoa, that MAGA, all we do is win, and if you came for MAGA, put your hands in the air, let them stay there. If you were wondering were there going to be arrests in Georgia, we don't have to wonder anymore.
Well, I'm told that. I mean, I've gotten up. I received a call.
Twice, Martin Luther King daddy. Martin Luther King Sr. just had Martin Luther King Sr. just responded to the federal raid in Fulton County. We not done. We not done. Feds raid Fulton County because over 600 and what's 80 plus 50, over 695,000 votes are in question. No one is saying that they did anything wrong. We just want to get to the bottom of how such a large mistake could be made. Who thinks that's legitimate? Put a 1 in the chat. Who thinks Tulsi Gabbard and the investigation is legitimate? I would want to know also in a presidential election, and you went through all these steps to correct it. We just played a video where she said she created brand new training. It would behoove the federal government to find out how such a large mistake was made. If you combine both mistakes and add them up to the 700,000 votes, right? I'm not saying cheating, but the federal government who funds the voter register, do you know that these are funded by the feds, so that the feds have the permission and authority to go in and find out. I give you money. I give you money to do the elections. We pay you good salaries. The registrar, So I think I put a one in the chat if you agree with Tulsi Gabbard investigating Fulton County and these 695,000 votes. Let's keep going.
Tonight, FBI agents are going through materials found today during a search of the Fulton County, Georgia election office. That search is said to be related to the 2020 election. Correspondent David Spunt has details tonight. Good evening, David.
Brett, good evening. FBI agents are still on site at the records warehouse for the Fulton County, Georgia Board of Elections. The matter is sealed before a court, meaning details are limited, but we can report this is related to the 2020 presidential election. Sources tell Fox News that agents retrieved documents, phones, and computers after a judge signed a warrant. President Trump has long made Georgia, and specifically Fulton County, a target of his complaints relating to the 2020 election. Shortly after that election, Trump spoke to Georgia's Secretary of State, Brad Raffensperger, and said he needed 11,780 votes to win the state. At the time, Raffensperger said he felt pressure from Trump and denied any widespread election fraud. He continues to deny it to this day. Now, Fulton County District Attorney Fani Willis brought state criminal charges against then former President Trump and others in 2023 for conspiracy to overturn the election. But her prosecution, Brett, was eventually derailed completely after it was revealed she had an intimate relationship with the top prosecutor on her team, and it could have tainted the case. Late last year, a judge dismissed the case in its entirety. Now, Brett, last month, the Justice Department sued Fulton County, Georgia, seeking access to 2020 voting records after state officials allegedly failed to respond to a subpoena. Fox News has learned the head of the FBI's Atlanta field office was recently forced out in recent days, but it's unclear, Brett, if this is all related.
What you guys think, man? Do you stand behind Tulsi Gabbard, Department of Justice, in this investigation?
FBI agents are going through materials found
into this investigation into voter fraud. So how do you feel about the SAVE Act and the voter ID discussion that we've been having with Nicki Minaj, and what's going on in the Senate with the SAVE Act? Now that you know what's going on in Fulton County, if we had better voting, we wouldn't have this problem. Do you support? You need to call your senator now. Let the Senate know that you support the SAVE Act and voter ID, and you want to stop voter fraud. Teeing up, this is breaking news. Fulton County, Georgia official just filed a court motion to reclaim the 2020 ballot seized by FBI. They are in full panic mode, desperately trying to get those ballots back because they heard, like Paw said, there will be arrests. He mentioned it a couple times. Let's go, MAGA.
Everybody, so here's an update. We're at the elections hub right here off Fairburn Road, and they did correct the warrant, and they are now in there getting the documents. 700 boxes of 2020 ballots and accompanying things that go with it, you know, absentee ballots, all the things, right? So our clerk of Superior Court, Shay Alexander, is in there making a log of everything that they're taking, but this is like all wrong. So we're trying to figure out a legal plan, and we should have one, whether that's an injunction, whether a motion to quash, I mean, whatever it is, we're trying to figure it out right now, because this is an attack on our elections, meant to keep you from trying to go to the polls in November, being too afraid to change what's going on in our nation. So instead of worrying about people dying in Minnesota, here we are at the Fulton County Elections Hub. So let me go find out what the legal plan is. Everybody, so here's an update. We're at the elections hub right here off Fairburn Road, and they did correct the warrant, and they are now in there getting.
That's right. That's right. Fight, fight, fight. Breaking news, Fulton County has filed a court motion. Let's go, MAGA.
Just filed a new motion in federal court requesting that the FBI return the 2020 election ballots and related records it seized in a raid last week. Let's bring in MS Now reporter Josh Einiger with the latest here. What's the county arguing in this new legal motion?
Well, Anna, the motion is officially under seal, so we don't know the details of the motion specifically, and they have not released it yet, although they're right now meeting in a county commission hearing right now in Fulton County, so we're expecting them to say more potentially at a news conference this morning as well. But writ large, the big challenge for Fulton County is to just figure out how to get those ballots back. Again, 700 boxes of ballots and other related documents seized by the FBI last week as part of this apparent wide-ranging investigation, although no one in Fulton County really can say for sure who or what is the actual target of this investigation. The biggest concern, Anna, though, for election officials in Fulton County and for the Fulton County Commission is that they could somehow in all this lose control of their voting systems as the midterms are just around the corner and, of course, the next general election in 2028.
Real consequences for what they've done. Real consequences. They could lose the ability to run elections. And that's why Tulsi Gabbard getting it done. Shout out to Tulsi Gabbard. We are talking about election fraud in Fulton County. I've reported today over 695,000 votes. Y'all can check my facts. So I read you the story about 315,000 votes, and I prepped you for this story about 380,000 images, together over 600,000 votes. Then I ask you, put a 1 in the chat. Do you think an investigation is warranted with that many mistakes made? Do you think an investigation is warranted with that many mistakes made? Over 600,000 votes in question. 315, there were 115 tapes that were not signed off. Now we're moving to the story about the images. 380,000 images. And again, you will see they did not deny the 315,000 votes. And again, they will not deny the 380,000 images. And yes, I know they did a recount. And yes, I know about the fact that they claim that they have paper ballots. I've never said that they cheated. This is the same woman as before. I am saying, is it valid or warrant to question, because they themselves have changed their systems, themselves have rehired management, increased training, changed SOPs. If you have someone make a mistake to the tune of 700,000 times, to the point where they get a $30 million brand new building, brand new board of directors, brand new managers, it would behoove you to investigate further as to how the mistake happened in the first place, right? And what really happened and why. That's what good management and logistics is about. I love that Tulsi Gabbard is there, because people keep complaining that they're not doing their job. Let me tee this up one more time, because I told you about the 315,000 votes. Those were, and some people in the chat seem to know about those because they seem to know that they were confirmed. Yes, 315,000 votes that was recorded and 150 tapes missing. This is brand new, very different, just like the story about Trump DOJ raiding. This is brand new and very different. So don't spam the chat, please. Don't spam the chat, please. So this is brand new and very different. Wait, what? The liberal media told us that no election fraud took place in Fulton County. Georgia Election Board confirms there's 380,000 ballot images missing. Now, this is on top of, compounded by the 315,000 that we talked about earlier. The 315,000 we talked about earlier, right? 315,000 we talked about earlier. So this is where I'm getting my numbers of over 600,000. And actually, I said 695,000 because 380,000 plus 315,000. This is where I'm getting I'm rounding up to 700,000. Then I said almost 1 million votes. You know, that's what you do in media. You try to sensationalize the facts on the ground. But if we're being honest, it's 315,000 in question, 380,000 additional votes in question, altogether totaling 695,000. You can round that up, I think, to 700,000. 315 images not signed off, 318 not captured. Let's get you the facts right now. First time a podcast with the blast.
Does the investigation confirm that there are missing ballot images?
Yes.
Yes. Do you know why 380,761 ballot images from Election Day machine count are not available?
We subpoenaed Fulton County for all of their ballot images. We received approximately 518,000 ballot images.
From Election Day?
Those are for the recount.
Those are from the recount, but we have no ballot images for 380,761 ballots from Election Day, correct?
What was subpoenaed was the ballot images for the recount, because that's what this case was about, not the election day. Does
Fulton County know why there are not 380,761 ballot images from Election Day.
Wow.
As with the investigators, we have not been apprised of this allegation. This is the first I'm hearing about it. I have no idea what the basis of that allegation is, and so we would have to. We can't answer that at this time.
Can't answer, but they don't deny it.
Would Fulton County agree that every vote should have a ballot image?
Did y'all hear that? I'm gonna play it again. Everybody knew. Everybody watching right now. I'm gonna ask everybody right now. Do a big favor. I'm gonna play it again. I'm gonna ask everybody watching right now. Do me a huge favor. Hit the like button. If you're so inclined, hit the subscribe button and join the channel. When you subscribe, you're gonna get a plus sign. You'll be able to join the channel. But I'm gonna ask a big favor right now of everybody watching. If you're watching, if you're learning, I would love it and appreciate it if you hit the like button. Spread some love and unity in the chat. We're discussing Fulton voter fraud, Fulton County voter fraud. They have uncovered 315,000 votes that were not signed off, 150 tapes missing. A lot of you have heard of that story. This now is a new story with 380,000 images. So altogether, we're talking about 695,000 votes in question in Fulton County. This is the same county where Fannie Willis tried to prosecute Donald Trump for voter fraud for the 2020 of the very same election. Now listen to the question. Remember earlier I said, this is not a partisan thing. I don't know how many people are watching this are thinking, what you're watching now, this is the state of Georgia, and everybody in this room is on the same side. This is not Republican versus Democrat. These are all Georgia citizens, and they all work for the Georgia State Voter Registrar, and they're trying to get to the bottom of this. So this is not one side against the other. This is not like a bunch of Republicans are going after the people. No, this is an internal audit. All Georgia, all voter registrar employees getting down to the bottom line because they know that the feds are coming and arrests are coming. I just played the video. What you're watching now is not Democrat versus Republican. This is internal audit. Do y'all understand now how powerful this is? No, this is not the Republicans. The person on the bench is the registrar asking the people who work for her to cover her ass.
Does the investigation confirm that there are missing ballot images?
Yes.
Yes.
Do you understand what I just explained to you? Does the investigation confirm that there are missing ballot images? She is the boss. She told them to do an investigation and find out about the ballot images. And they said, yeah, 380,000 ballot images were not there. Now, the same woman in this video is going to stand up. She's wearing red and white now. She must be a senior person. I apologize to you all that I don't know the roles and names of these individuals. I'm sure someone who hates me will be able to look it up and make me look stupid. You know what I'm saying? This lady is obviously a leader in the Georgia registrar. She is now agreeing. Now, listen, these are two separate videos. I toggle back and forth. Are you guys with me? These are two separate videos, and this is how we get to 695,000 votes in question, right? These are two separate incidents, and I'm toggling between two videos, right? The 315,000 votes I taught you about earlier that they admit, right? I'm going to toggle between them both. The 315,000 votes that they admit were not recorded and not signed off, right? That's the first story I showed you. And then now this is the 380,000. I'm looking for it to bounce back and forth. Okay, let's get into it.
I've not seen the the tapes myself, but we do not dispute that the tapes were not signed. It was a violation of the rule. Since 2020, again, we have new leadership and a new building and a new board and new standard operating procedures. And since then, the training has been enhanced. The poll watchers are trained specifically. They've got to sign the tapes in the morning and they've got to sign the tapes when they're run at the end of the day. When the tapes come back to the hub for, with all the documentation, they are checked again. And if somebody, I've not seen the tapes myself, but we do not dispute that the tapes were not signed. It was a violation.
We do not dispute that the tapes were not signed. This is 315,000 tapes not signed, right? Now, in addition, we also have this news today. If you're wondering why the federal government is raiding Fulton County. So 350, now you're going to see the same individual speak to the additional now 380,000 images. These are two separate incidents totaling almost 700,000 votes.
Does the investigation confirm that there are missing ballot images?
Yes.
That's 695,000. Anybody doing the math? That's 695,000 questionable votes in Fulton County.
Do you know why 380,761 ballot images from Election Day machine count are not available?
We subpoenaed Fulton County for all of their ballot images. We received approximately 518,000 ballot images.
From Election Day?
Those are for the recount.
Those are from the recount, but we have no ballot images for 380,761 ballots from Election Day, correct?
What was subpoenaed was the ballot images for the recount because that's what this case was about, not
See, they won't even be honest. They know they wrong.
the Election Day.
Does Fulton County know why there are not 380,761 ballot images from Election Day?
As with the investigators, we have not been apprised of this allegation. This is the first I'm hearing about it. I have no idea what the basis of that allegation is, and so we would have to.
It's the same individual as in the first video. Just to let you know, two separate instances and 695,000 votes are in question. Two separate investigations totaling almost 700,000 votes in question in Fulton County, and they tried to put Donald Trump in jail for a RICO. Let's go.
Would Fulton County agree that every vote should have a ballot image?
This is what we're talking about. Voter ID, voter fraud, voter ID, voter fraud, voter ID, voter fraud. We got the feds.
Pretty racist and they're bad. I think voter ID laws are a way to perpetuate.
We got the feds in Fulton County, and we got 600,000, 700,000 votes in question. Let's go to the people. We're going to the streets, you guys, on voter fraud, voter ID. Let's go to the streets. Perfect Time Podcast, back with the blast. Y'all ready? Let's go. Double tap at the like button.
Usually pretty racist and they're bad. I think voter ID laws are a way to perpetuate racism.
Would you go as far as say those laws are racist?
For sure.
Do you think it suppresses the African American vote?
Definitely.
Tell us how.
Because they're less likely to have state IDs.
Minority voters are less likely to have the kinds of IDs that have been described or required.
These type of people don't live in areas with easy access to DMVs or other places where they can get identification.
You can always get IDs you do over the internet. Does that also make it difficult for Black people in particular?
Yeah, you have to have access to the internet. You have to be able to pay an internet service provider for certain fees.
Do you think that's harder for Black people to go online?
Well, I feel like they don't have the knowledge of how it works. A lot of people have smartphones, but you might not have data. For most of the communities, they don't really know what is out there just because they're not aware or they're not informed. I also think there's a repression of Black voting with how if you're a convicted felon, you're not allowed to vote and everything. And when you look at swing states like Florida, that's a huge population of the African Americans.
Now I'm here in East Harlem to ask Black people their thoughts on what you just heard. Do you have ID normally? Do you carry ID around?
Yes, I have state ID.
Do you carry ID?
Yes, I do.
Do you know any Black person who doesn't carry ID?
No. Everyone that I know has an ID. Why would they think we don't have ID?
That's a lie. Why would they say that?
Do you have ID?
Yes.
Because I have my ID and my friends have their ID, so we know what we need to carry around.
Yeah, everybody that I know have ID. That's one of the things you need to walk around with New York with, ID.
Do you know any Black adult who does not have ID?
No, I don't.
Is it a weird thing to even say that?
Yes, it is.
What is this, some type of trick candy cameras?
I know, right?
That's the only thing I brought with me.
Those are legit IDs. I heard a lot also that Black people can't figure out how to get to the DMV.
Really?
What does that say to you?
I know it's that. It's on 25th Street.
Do you know where the DMV is around you?
It's on 125th Street and 3rd Avenue, I believe.
You know how to get there?
Yeah.
Would you have a problem getting there if you had to get there?
No.
I know these sound like silly questions. You know how to get to the DMV?
Of course.
You know where it is?
Yes.
You can get there?
Uh-huh.
No problem.
No problem.
Just checking.
Okay.
And I also heard a lot that Black people, especially poor Black people, have no access to the internet, can't figure out how to use the internet.
That's just stupidity, honestly. Everybody has access to the internet. Even a little kid can figure out how to work the internet.
I had access to the internet for years.
You know how to use it properly, right?
Exactly. I do it at work. So, of course, I know how to use it. My kids know how to use it. They all have iPads, iPods, whatever.
Your phone has data?
Mm-hmm.
You can actually
Unlimited.
Unlimited data.
Mm-hmm. I use my phone as a hotspot.
What does that say to you for the people who have this perception of Black people?
They're pretty much ignorant. That's what my thought process on.
I just think that's ignorant. Ignorant.
Ignorant. That's the word I hear
Very
a lot.
ignorant.
Ignorant.
Very, very ignorant.
Does it sound racist for somebody to say that?
I think it is a little racist because, you're putting people in a category and you have no idea what you're talking about.
Maybe a little bit of racist in it, but like I said, I think it's more stupidity and ignorance.
You're judging somebody, you're judging them because they're Black, saying that they don't got it.
What people are they talking to? Who are these people talking to?
Do you have a problem that if you go to vote and they say, "Can we please see your ID to make sure you are who you say you are"? Are you
Love
cool?
showing my ID.
You have no problem with that?
Nope.
Would you have a problem if when you go to vote, if they say, "Can we please just see your ID to make sure you are who you say you are"? Do you have an issue with that?
No.
Would you have a problem if there was a rule where you have to show your ID in order to vote?
I don't think so. No.
Would you have an issue if there was a rule saying you got to show your ID before you vote?
Nah.
You cool with that?
Yeah.
Just doing some research for the audience, man. Double tap, hit the like button. You are watching the #1 podcast on YouTube for geopolitical debate and domestic debate and issues. Have you guys heard about the voter ID issues and the SAVE Act? We talking about voter ID issues. We talking about the SAVE Act. But since I got a lot of people here, let's have some fun. Y'all want to have some fun? I want to have some fun. Maxine Waters was getting her roast on Capitol Hill. I want to know, put a 1 in the chat if you agree with Maxine Waters as she gets her roast on. Put a 1 in the chat if you agree with Maxine.
10 and 20 million immigrants.
Can you
look
shut
at the
up?
housing stock of working Americans, and can you maintain some level of dignity?
Gentleman's time has expired.
10 and 20 million immigrants.
Can you
look
shut
at the
up?
housing stock of working Americans, and can you maintain some level of dignity?
Gentleman's time has expired.
Can you maintain some level of dignity? Everybody watching right now, I'm gonna ask a big favor. Do me a big favor, everybody watching right now. Hit the like button. What we're watching right now, Maxine Waters goes on an unhinged rant, crashes out. We watching the Maxine Waters crash out. Crash out, crash out, crash out. Maxine Waters, Capitol Hill, Secretary Scott Bessent, and she decided to crash out, crash out, crash out. I know y'all want to see the MAGA red meat. I know you want to see the MAGA red meat. I know you want to see the MAGA red meat. How old is, oh yeah, we looked it up, 87,000 years old. Maxine Waters, 87,000 years old. Let's go. We saw Pawpaw. Here go Mama.
And on housing or affordability and putting the economy at risk. Yes or no? You don't have to explain.
Representative Waters,
Will you be the voice? Will you be the voice? Will you be the voice? Will you be the voice of reason? Will you be the voice of reason?
A study
Yes or
from
no?
Wharton University
Reclaiming my time. Reclaiming my time. Reclaiming my time.
Was a mass
Reclaiming my time.
unfettered immigration.
Mr. Chair, will you
let
let
in
him know
between
that when I
10 and
ask
20
him
million immigrants
Time does
took
belong
up the
to
housing
the woman.
stock. 10 and 20 million immigrants
Can you
took
shut
up the
him up?
housing stock
Oh,
of working Americans, and can you maintain some level of dignity?
Gentlelady's time has expired.
No, my time has not expired.
Your time is
And on housing or affordability and putting the economy at risk. Yes or no? You don't have to explain.
Representative
Will
Waters,
you be the voice? Will you be the voice?
Will
you be the voice?
Of
Will you be the
inflation,
voice of reason? Will you be the voice of reason?
a study
Yes or
from
no?
Wharton University
Reclaiming my
has
time.
shown
Reclaiming my
big-
time.
the biggest reason for the
Reclaiming
housing
my
increase
time.
was a mass
Reclaiming my
Reclaiming my time. Reclaiming my time. Reclaiming my time.
Will you be the voice? Will you be the voice?
Of
Will you be the
inflation.
voice of
Will you be the voice? Will you be the, everybody at home? We're gonna have it's Black History Month, man. Let's have a good time today. Let's have some fun, man. Will you be the one? You got to get your Martin Luther King, Harriet Tubman. You got, and you got to put Trump in it. Will you be the voice? Will you be the voice? Will you be the voice? Everybody at home.
the economy at risk. Yes or no? You don't have to explain.
Representative Waters,
Will you be the voice?
Will
Will you be the voice? Will you be the voice?
Will you be the
Will you
voice?
be the voice of reason? Will you be the voice of reason?
A study
Yes or
from
no?
Wharton University
Reclaiming my
has
time.
shown
Reclaiming my
big-
time.
the biggest reason for the
Reclaiming
housing
my
increase
time.
was a mass
Reclaiming my
unfettered
time.
immigration.
Mr. Chair, will you
let
let
in
him know
10
that
and
when I
20
ask
million
him
immigrants
Time does
took
belong
up
to
the housing
the woman.
stock. 10 and 20 million immigrants
Can you
took
shut
up the
him up?
Can you shut him up?
housing stock of
Ain't you the congresswoman? Don't you got a gavel? You supposed to be in control. Women want to be in Congress. Women want to be in power. You shut him up. That's your damn job. You shut him up. Can you shut him up? No, Maxine Waters, 87 years old, worth $20 million, been in Congress 30, 45,000 damn years. You shut him up. You shut him up. What, you want some toxic masculinity? What do you mean? You shut him up. You shut him up. Ain't nobody gonna come help you, baby. Come on, mama. Come on, mama.
Will you be the voice of reason? Will you be the voice of reason?
a study
Yes or
from
no?
Wharton University
Reclaiming my
has
time.
shown
Reclaiming my
big-
time.
the biggest reason for the
Reclaiming
housing
my
increase
time.
was a mass
Reclaiming my time.
unfettered immigration.
Mr. Chair, will you
let
let
in
him know
10
that
and
when I
20
ask
million
him
immigrants
Time does
took
belong
up the
to
housing
the woman.
stock. 10 and 20 million immigrants
Can you
took
shut
up the
him up?
housing stock
Can you
of
shut him
working
up?
Americans, and can you maintain some level of dignity?
Gentlelady's
Can you maintain some level of dignity? Woo, Scotty boy. Scotty boy. That's our boy, Scott Bessent. That's our boy, Scott Bessent. Oh, Scotty boy. Yeah, man. Yeah, man. Maxine Waters, Capitol Hill. Oh, it's only a hill. It's only 87 years old. And I don't think she knows. I don't even think she knows. Can you get him to shut up, please? Because I can't do my job because I'm 87.
To investors raising concerns about the impact of tariffs, writing that, quote, tariffs are inflationary. Did you say that at that time? Yes or no?
No.
Okay, thank you. Okay, we have a New York Times article that, agrees that you said that. Then last summer, when you testified before a Senate committee, you said, and I quote, "There is no inflation. Tariffs are not being passed on to consumers." You were quite definitive, and even claimed that critics had, quote, "tariff derangement syndrome." Well, those comments are at odds with the statement you made to investors that tariffs are inflationary. Again, I want to be clear, so just let me ask you, are tariffs inflationary? Yes or no?
According to the San Francisco Federal Reserve, with 150 years of data,
Yes or no?
tariffs do not cause inflation. San Francisco Federal
Well, last
Reserve
November, as the
Congresswoman,
Trump administration finally began to realize
150 years
that
of data.
affordability issues in America are not a hoax, you told Fox News that the government was going to reduce tariffs on goods like coffee and bananas, and that doing so would, quote, "bring the prices down very quickly." Mr. Secretary.
She's reading. She don't even know what the hell she's talking about. Should we tell her, ladies and gentlemen? Should we tell her, MAGA? Let's go, MAGA. Let's go. Let's go, MAGA. Let's go. She want to know about inflation. Somebody in the chat, W chat right now. I'm going to shout you out. Shout them out without a doubt. Somebody in the chat right now, let her know what inflation is, because they predicted inflation would skyrocket to 7 and 8%. Let's go, MAGA. Let's go. Let's go, MAGA. Let's go. What is inflation, anybody? Anybody want to tell her? They said the Trump tariffs would make inflation go to 7 and 8%. At that time, inflation was 3%. What did inflation come in at, everybody? I know you, my MAGA Republicans, know inflation came in at 2%. Let's go, 2.7%. Inflation came in at 2.7%, 12 billion to the farmers, 12 billion to the farmers from tariffs, because she's talking about tariffs. She talking to the Secretary of the Treasury. We talking about a $2,000 rebate in 2026. We talking about the largest tax returns ever in 2026. We talking about tax returns going up from $3,000 to $4,000 on average in 2026. We're talking about 12 billion to farmers, 1776. That's $1,776 was given to our military because they didn't get paid for 43 days. Donald Trump gave them that bonus out of the tariffs. Despite Donald Trump tariffs, we got 2.7 inflation. Down from 3%. Inflation never went up. Did you know that the GDP is rising for the first time in years? Democrats never saw an increase in GDP. GDP 4% and increasing. And right, economists can't believe it. Economics can't believe it. The Trump economy is roaring and the MAGA dollar is strong. The Trump economy is roaring and the MAGA dollar is strong. This is Maxine Waters on Capitol Hill making a fool out of herself and just reminding us all, you can't do it forever.
To investors raising concerns about the impact of tariffs, writing that, quote, "tariffs are inflationary." Did you say that at that time? Yes or no?
No.
Okay, thank you. Okay, we have a New York Times article that, agrees that you
New
said
York
that.
Times.
Then last summer, when you testified before a Senate committee, you said, and I quote, "there is no inflation. Tariffs are not being passed on to consumers." You are quite.
That is a fact. There is no inflation. Inflation has gone down. And independent media like myself, Jerome Powell is under investigation. Jerome Powell himself is under investigation. I've been doing my thing. All we do is win. And if you came for MAGA, put your hands in the air. Let them say that. MAGA. Jerome Powell being investigated. Fulton County being investigated. Maxine Waters making a plumb fool out of herself. Somebody text her, tag her right now. Oh, that MAGA, and let her know inflation came in under 2.7.
You were quite definitive and even claimed that critics had, quote, "tariff derangement syndrome." Well,
I like that. Because I seen it in my chat. Most definitely tariff derangement syndrome. I asked them, when did tariffs go into effect? They don't know. The tariffs went into effect August 1st. I played a video yesterday where Donald Trump was in front of the White House and said they found Doge found an additional $31 billion. Trump said, check the tariff fund. And when we talked about the $2,000 stimulus checks, I did the math. I did the math on currently how much we were collecting per quarter. At the time when we did the math, we were at damn near $500 million incoming from tariffs per quarter. I said we're going to be at $1 trillion. Over the 4 years Trump is in president, we're going to be over trillions of dollars in revenue from the tariffs. So when Trump says we're going to pay down the debt, it's not just facetious. When Trump says you're going to get $2,000 stimulus checks, it's not just facetious. It's because America is finally becoming competitive and getting in the goddamn game.
Those comments are at odds with the statement you made to investors that tariffs are inflationary. Again, I want to be clear, so just let me ask you, are tariffs inflationary? Yes or no?
According to the San Francisco Federal Reserve, with 150 years of data,
Yes or no?
Tariffs do not cause inflation. San Francisco Federal Reserve.
Well, last November.
Did you hear that? Did you hear that? One more time for all the people in the slow class. I mean, I done proved it so many times. The GDP, you know what I'm saying? Inflation, everything that you want to argue. And then you know what else? You know what else? How Trump economy has becoming like Trump economy cannot be stopped. What else do we have? Because when I talk about these numbers, people say, well, things are expensive. What do we expose? We expose Walmart charging double, lying about the price of goods. We expose Walmart, even though Walmart is getting the eggs cheaper, the milk cheaper, the beef cheaper, they're still charging the Biden inflation prices. Remember, we exposed that. But it's almost like the Democrats want to pay higher prices just so they can say, oh, Trump is bad. Trump is bad. Boo, making Democrats cry to boo, blue. Let's go.
Be clear. So just let me ask you, are tariffs inflationary? Yes.
No, tariffs are not inflationary, not only by the San Francisco data, but by the data that we are living in. Inflation went down, Maxine, from 3 point to 2.7, Maxine. It didn't go up, Maxine. America's making money. More jobs are coming back to America, Maxine. Just next time before you read this stupid shit, do a little fucking research. You 87-year-old old lady who needs to fucking retire. The fuck are you doing? Fucking with American politics. You should be somewhere taking some fucking medicine, taking a fucking nap. This is part of the fucking problem why our country is in fucking disarray and shambles. 87 years old and completely devoid of the issue. This gives birth to the idiots who want to say, just for fun, they have done no other economic research that you and I and MAGA conservatives have done, because we have to. They just like to say it for fun. Tariffs are a tax we pay, despite the fact that I've looked it up and I've disproven that, I've debunked that. Why don't they fact check that when people say tariffs are a tax we pay? That is actually not true by the definition, in fact, of what a tariff is. What they like to say in the liberal media is that they can pass on tariff. See, they always leave this out when they say this cute little phrase. It's a catchphrase for the Democratic Party. Tariffs are a tax. And Nancy Pelosi didn't always believe that. Democrats didn't always believe that. But what they truly mean to say is that the cost can be passed on, can, not that it's a fact or economic law or economic theory. This is brand new by the liberal media trying to scare the Americans because the Democrats use fear. The truth is, what the actual definition says is that costs can be passed on to consumers, but the consumer is not the one who bears the brunt of the tariff. And then they never talk about tariff in conjunction with trade. You don't just, this is the 87-year-old. I expect it from an 87-year-old. But some of you claim to be intelligent. Never bring up tariff again in my chat. unless you can bring up trade. Unless you understand the trade deficit, unless you understand the trade wars that have occurred and cripple American wages, American pensions, American factories, please sit down and shut the STF, yo. Because the only way it works is you take out the truth of the definition. You take out that it can be passed on. You lie about the fact that it's a direct tax. There's nowhere you will find, because they can copy and paste it right now in the chat. They can go to Google, they can go to Wikipedia. You can copy and paste it right now in the chat where it says that, but you will find nowhere where it says tariffs are a tax. It will say that tariffs can be passed on. And what I said on my channel, how I educated my audience, is that the MAGA dollar is strong. I gave examples of the Target changing their woke direction. I gave the example of Bud Light changing their woke transgender direction. I gave examples of Cracker Barrel changing their woke anti-white perspective. And they had to put the cracker back next to the barrel. I said Cracker Barrel had to put the cracker back next to the barrel because the MAGA dollar is strong. And I said, if you see companies trying to pass on their tariffs to you as a consumer, shop somewhere else. I said, if you see your favorite company trying to pass on they damn tariff because it's they damn bill to you as a consumer, shop somewhere else. You vote with your dollar. You vote with your dollar. And for example, didn't Amazon take away that tariff shit? Didn't Amazon take off that tariff shit? I think Amazon, because remember, Amazon was fucking with Trump. And Amazon put that tariff bullshit up on their products. And the customers didn't like that shit. And they took it down because the dollar is strong. The dollar is king. Not your little liberal little talking points. Not your little liberal little talking points.
Yes or no?
According to the San Francisco Federal Reserve, with 150 years of data,
Yes or no?
Tariffs do not cause inflation.
Tariffs do not cause inflation. She didn't like that answer because he gave too much, just like me, too much data.
San Francisco Federal Reserve.
Last November.
San Francisco Federal Reserve said no, but on top of that, we have the numbers. Just like Arby's, we have the meats. You know what I'm saying? Just like Arby's, we have the receipts. Inflation went down under Trump tariffs. GDP is rising under Trump tariffs. We're adding jobs. These are the facts. We paid farmers. We paid military. Do you know during the shutdown, we paid women and children in WIC? Do you know in February, the one big beautiful bill, those 80-hour work months went into effect. Brand new EBT and entitlement restrictions went into effect at the beginning of February. Anybody heard about these work requirements? Anybody been affected by the one big beautiful bill? Anybody have seen the soda bans? Tap in, Maxine Waters. Somebody wake up mama. Somebody wake up mama.
As the Trump administration finally began to realize that affordability issues in America are not a hoax. You told Fox News that the government was going to reduce tariffs on goods like coffee and bananas, and that doing so would, quote, bring the prices down very quickly. Mr. Secretary, why was that announcement even necessary? If tariffs aren't inflationary, and as you and the president like to say, are paid for by foreign countries, by the foreign country, a tariff on coffee or bananas shouldn't raise the price of either for
What do you guys think? Was Nancy Pelosi, Maxine Waters? So Nancy Pelosi is stepping down. Look how she look. She look like a Muppet. I ain't even gonna hold you. It's almost like AI. Is that a Muppet? Is that a Muppet? It's almost like AI, man, because it's like a Muppet is up there. And these two guys look like the guys in the balcony in the Muppets. Is this a Muppet show? Oh my God. More from Scott Bessent testimony, Capitol Hill Just making them look bad, man. MAGA conservatives going in, man. Double tap at the like button. #1 podcast for domestic, political, and geopolitical debate. Jump in the chat, you guys. Hit the like, hit the share, subscribe. I'm going to ask a huge favor. I know it's a big deal to hit the like button, especially if you're first time here. You may not be, I may not have convinced you, but if I have, I'm asking you now, in case you forgot, hit the like button. And I'm going to say thank you. I love you, and I love America. Have a good time.
On behalf of
I take that as a no. You do not want to answer that question. I take that as a no.
For a $7 billion.
I'm asking you to do your responsibility as Secretary of the Treasury. You do not. Will you?
Time has expired. You cannot erase what you did in 2000.
He's the one that went past your time, Mr. Chairman.
No,
he did not answer my question, and he wouldn't pass the time.
He had 6 seconds left to try to answer your question, and
it was a yes or no. It was a yes or no answer. I asked him, will he? No, it was yes or no.
The OCC is an independent.
Stop covering for the president. Stop being his flunky.
And gentlemen,
he's talking to me. I'm responding back to him.
2006 trip to Venezuela.
Stop covering for the president. Don't be a flunky. Work for the American people.
On behalf of
I take that.
This is the Democratic circus. You can't make this up, man. This is the Democratic. Do you hear this guy? He sound like he in the middle of Sunday morning. I'm telling you, I'm not voting. I'm the best you ever had. You better vote for me or you're not black. This is your Democratic Party. Please listen to the Democrats. This is why you lose. This is why you lose. There's no hope for you in 2026 if Maxine Waters is still. Is Maxine Waters running again? Is Maxine Waters running again? Is this your candidate? Is this your candidate? Listen. And I am telling you, I'm not voting them. You're the best I ever had. If you don't vote for me, you're not black. Oh, I am telling you. I'm not voting them. Everybody in the chat, I'm not voting them. If you don't vote for me, you're not black. Did he really say that? You know, it wouldn't be funny if I was making it up. It's only funny because he really said that shit. If you don't vote for me, you're not black. On Black History Month, best podcast. I am telling you, I'm not voting. You're the best I ever had. If you don't vote for me, you're not black. Oh no, I am telling you, I'm not voting them.
On behalf of
I take that as a no.
On behalf of your
you do not want to answer that question. I take that as a no.
For a $7 billion.
I'm asking you to do your responsibility as Secretary of the Treasury. You do not. Will you?
Time has expired. You cannot erase what you did in 2000.
He's the one that went past your time, Mr. Chairman.
No,
he did not answer my question, and he wouldn't pass the time.
He had 6 seconds left to try to answer your question, and
it was a yes or no. It was a yes or no answer.
He looked like is that Keenan? What's up with that? What's up with that? What's up with that? What's up with that? Everybody at home, Keenan is in the Congress. Y'all heard it say that like, what's up with that? What's up with that? Oh, I am I'm not voting them. What's up with that? What's up with that? That's Keenan. Is that not Keenan from Good Burger? Is that not Keenan from Good Burger? That's Keenan from Good Burger. He doing that. What's up with that? You know, come on, man.
I asked him, Willie, no, was
Gentlemen,
that yes
the
or no?
chair recognizes the gentleman.
Stop
Mr.
covering
Bessent.
for the president. Stop being his flunky.
And
Gentlemen.
He's talking to me. I'm responding
your
back to him.
2006 trip to Venezuela.
Neither one.
Stop covering for the president.
I love it. Woo! Oh, we having a good time. Yeah, let me respond to the hate. This is a response to the hate. Don't hate, be great. Don't hate, make America great.
And the deception of the Democratic Party.
Don't hate, make America great.
Why is it that I'm expected to hate my police? Why is it that I'm expected to hate as a black American living in this country? Why is it that I'm expected to hate my police?
Great question.
Why is it that I'm expected to hate my president? And why is it that I'm expected to hate my country? Nah, I say we have the best police, the best president, and the best country in the whole world. And I'm here asking the rest of the black community to join us and to see through the lies and the manipulation and the deception of the Democratic Party. It's been going on for far too long. And we say enough is enough.
We have to lose.
What do we got to lose?
Put a one in the chat if you agree.
American living in
Put a
this
one in the
country,
chat if you agree.
Why is it that I'm expected to hate my police? Why is it that I'm expected to hate my president? And why is it that I'm expected to hate my country? Nah, I say we have the best police, the best president, and the best country in the whole world.
Woo!
And I'm here asking the rest of the black community to join us and to see through the lies and the manipulation and the deception of the Democratic Party. It's been going on for far too long. And we say enough is enough.
We have to lose.
What do we got to lose?
Put a one in the chat if you agree with that. Put a one in the chat if you agree.
American living.
Just to respond to some of the hate. Perfect Time of Podcast. You know, I'll come with the blast. Y'all know I got everything fired up at last. Yeah, man, I had to have that for y'all, man. You think I don't see the hate? You think I don't see the hate? I see the hate. I see red roses. Woo, 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 woo. I see 87 years old, and you too old for you. And I think to myself, why she's still in Congress? And I think to myself, why she's still in Congress? Let's stay on the Black MAGA. Let's stay on Black MAGA. Black MAGA merch coming soon. Black MAGA merch coming soon. Black MAGA 2026 coming soon. Don't worry. Let me tee this up. Anti-ICE protesters call Black ICE agent effing house N-word as agents drive away. Again, selective outrage. We spoke about how the Democrats go after women when they're Republican. It's okay to attack a woman when she's a Republican, right? Here it is again, the liberal Democrats, white liberal Democrats, going after someone because of their race. And just like I get every day in my chat, they're lodging racial slurs at an American doing the job, working for the federal government. He's at work. And that's what he got to deal with. And they think they're justified. This is the sick part. Something in their ideology and mentality tells them they're justified when they attack women, when they burn up Teslas, when they beat up people on the street. I'm going to go there next. Let's look at the video. Double tap at the like button. Perfect Time Podcast. We talking about ICE and race. ICE and the race hustle of the liberal Democrat race hustle. And Don Lemons.
Like we should rip people apart from their families.
Are you a man?
Wow. Wow, is that a question? Wow. Okay. How do you feel about ripping people from their families? Does that feel good?
Fucking house nigga in here.
Sir, I need to move.
Fucking house nigga working for the fucking KKK.
What's wrong with you people? Why are you calling a woman a man? I mean, what kind of a guy does that?
Fucking house nigga, bitch.
Neighbor.
Go look for that fucking slave.
Can you believe this is what they got to deal with while they're at work? They got someone to arrest. They have a warrant, and because Minnesota has these ICE watch groups, one car of 4 police officers gets surrounded by 20 people, hurling insults, racial insults, having whistles to distract them sonically. This is horrible what's going on the street. How many people knew it was this bad, though? That where the white liberals who are telling you to feel bad, and they tell you they care about victims like Alex Purdy and Renee Good, but they don't care about race and racial slurs and how this would affect someone at work. Keep in the context and the fact that they not only used a racial slur, but they used it while he was at work, and putting yourself in his shoes that you're at work. And 20 people are trying to impede you from doing your job. All you're trying to do is put the fries in the bag. That's it. You're trying to put the fries in the bag, and they keep yelling at you. Now we might understand when we see those Popeyes videos and those McDonald's videos of people upset. They trying to tell you how to put the fries in the bag, and all you're trying to do is do your job. And then they hurl insults, and then they escalate it to racial insults, and then last is the violent attack.
That kind of energy, like we should rip people apart from their families.
Are you a man?
Wow. Wow, is that a question? Wow. Okay. How do you feel about ripping people from their families? Does that feel good?
Fucking house nigga in here.
Sir, I need to move.
Fucking house nigga working for the fucking KKK.
That's 2 times. So a couple things to unpack. That's twice he gets called a racial slur. You can really see his face. He's not the kind of guy to cover up his whole face. It would be easy to identify him, so he's not trying to hide who he is. He spoke to them. And then the other thing to extrapolate is how many people are surrounding the office. They're outnumbered. I gave you these numbers before. 400,000 citizens, 2,000 ICE agents, 600,000 police, but the police have been asked to stand down. Every incident that you see these ICE agents, they're always outnumbered, even with Renee Good, even with Alex Purdy. Here again, he's outnumbered, surrounded, and dealing with racial slurs. I just want to extrapolate those things that you're looking at because it's such a provocative video because he's being called these racial slurs. A lot of people could feel about it different ways. Some people don't care about the racial slurs. Some people do. But there's other things to extrapolate that we're looking at here. Listen to how many whistles, how many people are there, because what you need to know by now is the reason this happens this way is because Minnesota ICE Watch has written down license plates, name and make and vehicle, and now ICE Watch members can get to staging before ICE Watch, and that's how they get accosted like this and basically shut down the operation.
How do you feel about ripping people from their families? Does that feel good?
Fucking house nigga in here.
Sir, I need to move.
Fucking house nigga working for the fucking KKK.
What's wrong with you people? Why are you calling a woman a man? I mean, what kind of a guy does that?
Fucking house nigga, bitch. Go look for that fucking slave.
You see the snowball? You see the snowball? They could have got arrested for that, but they can't arrest anybody without it becoming violent because they're outnumbered. I know a lot of you will say, arrest them, arrest them. There's 4 of them in a damn Subaru, you guys, in a 4 big giant men in a Subaru Forester, and there's about 6 people circling him right here. That's not counting the people that we hear on the whistles. So they outnumbered. You guys, they got to get out of there. They're like, get in the car, let's go. They're outnumbered. They cannot make the arrest without it becoming violent. And this wouldn't be like this if they had backup from the local PD.
You should rip people apart from their families.
Are you a man?
Wow. Wow, is that a question? Wow. Okay. How do you feel about ripping people from their families?
1, 2, 3 people right there.
Fucking house nigga in here.
Sir, I need to move.
Fucking house nigga working for the fucking KKK.
What's wrong with you people? Why are you calling?
That's 6 people right there surrounding him, and there are 4 people in the car. But you got to listen in the background. You got to hear about 10, 20 people on whistles. So how many people are there? And that's why they're leaving.
a woman a man? I mean, what kind of a guy does that?
Fucking house nigga, bitch.
Then they tried to open the door. This is just, if anything, we should be happy that no one else has gotten hurt. By the way the citizens are acting there, then they try to open the door, and then you're going to see a snowball. That's the snowball, and then the bird. You know you could be arrested for flipping off a federal officer. That's a charge. You can't flip off a federal officer. And I think they might have spit on him at the end. Ice chaos, ice crisis, Don Lemon. Ice chaos, ice crisis, Don Lemon. Nicki Minaj dropped a video rapping about Don Lemon. Let's take a listen.
Yeah. Order in the court, please. Miss Judge on the mic. Bring the choir in. Ay, Don Lemon in the back row. Fake fur, tight pants, and a weak glow. Trying to preach, but he reading from a talk show. Facts all wobbly, stunting for the B-roll. Oh, you ain't Peter, you ain't Paul. Those are just the guys you cracked at the mall. Right before you pulled up at a church hall. Don't blame the Christians and act appalled. Sunday service, families made prayer. Here you come, put my mic on air. Turn the pulpit to a press event. Now the bailiff taking evidence. Don Lemon, why you so bitter? Crying like a little bitch on Twitter. Unwatchable like Jennifer Welch. Gonna have to start a new show from a cell. Yeah. Order in the court, please.
You know, ladies and gentlemen, number one podcast on YouTube. Podcast, back with the lines. Don Lemon.
Don Lemon in the back row. Fake fur, tight pants, and a weak glow. Trying to preach, but he reading from a talk show. Facts all wobbly, stunting for the B-roll. Oh, you ain't Peter, you ain't Paul. Those are just the guys you cracked at the mall. Right before you pulled up at a church hall. Don't blame the Christians and act appalled. Sunday service, families made prayer. Here you come, put my mic on air. Turn the pulpit to a press event. Now the bailiff taking evidence. Don Lemon, why you so bitter? Crying like a little bitch on Twitter. Unwatchable like Jennifer Welch. Gonna have to start a new show from a cell.
Gonna have to start a new show from the cell. Don Lemon, why you so bitter? Don Lemon, why you so bitter? Don Lemon, why you so bitter? Number one podcast on YouTube. Don Lemon, why you so bitter? Can I get hashtag Nicki Minaj in the chat? We ain't stopping, you guys. It's all we do is win Wednesday. Hit the like, share, subscribe. We do this every day, Monday through Friday. My name is Perfect, and the purpose of the podcast, we talk about Trump knows, giving Democrats the blues. And we going in. Today is a fire day. Double tap hit the like button. Every day, all day. All damn day, y'all. All day. All day. Stephen A. Smith watching my show in my chat. Subscribe to my channel. Let's hear what he got to say. One of my minions.
And whether you like it or not, Don Lemon is a member of the press. Don Lemon has been in journalism for 30 years. Don Lemon worked at CNN for 17 years. And just because you don't have a specific organization that you're working for, that's where the word independence comes from. It doesn't mean that your journalism credentials are stripped. Not when you've been doing it for decades like him. This is straight BS what he's going through. I'm a member of the press too. And there ain't no way in hell anybody in the field of journalism shouldn't be supporting Don Lemon today. And that's including anyone on the right. Anybody in journalism. I'm not saying it was wise. I'm not saying I would have done it. I'm not saying he should have walked into a church to do interviews and stuff like that for a couple of minutes, but it don't warrant this. You support this, you don't support the First Amendment. You don't support freedom of the press. Don Lemon has been critical of me. I don't give a damn.
Put a one in the chat if you agree with Stephen A. Smith. Put a 1 in the chat if you stand with Don Lemon. Put a 1 in the chat if you agree with Stephen A. Smith, if you stand with Don Lemon and you believe Don Lemon is protected by the First Amendment rights and Don Lemon should not be prosecuted on the FACE Act, despite,
and whether you like it or not,
despite the fact that we know that Republican mothers were sent to prison by Biden. Can Stephen A. Smith, see, Stephen A. Smith be watching my show, subscribe to my channel, one of my minions, but he doesn't listen to everything I say and teach. See, you have to put it in context, Stephen. See, Biden just 11 months ago jailed mothers, women, clergy women for praying in front of abortion clinics. Biden prosecuted them. The Biden DOJ prosecuted them via the FACE Act up to 27 months to 11 years for prayer, Stephen, because it was seen by the courts that they were trying to prohibit individuals from their right, similar to Don Lemon. So it's okay to prosecute mothers and clergy women at an abortion clinic on their knees in prayer, but Don Lemon should be absolved. Let's listen again. Let me know in the chat. Put a 1 in the chat. Do you agree with Don Lemon? Is he protected? And Stephen A. Smith, is he protected by First Amendment rights?
and whether you like it or not, Don Lemon is a member of the press. Don Lemon has been in journalism for 30 years. Don Lemon worked at CNN for 17 years. And just because you don't have a specific organization that you're working for, that's where the word independence comes from. It doesn't mean that your journalism credentials are stripped. Not when you've been doing it for decades like him. This is straight BS what he's going through.
I'm a member of the press too. And there ain't no way in hell anybody in the field of journalism shouldn't be supporting Don Lemon today. And that's including anyone on the right.
Anybody in journalism. I'm not saying it was wise. I'm not saying I would have done it. I'm not saying he should have walked into a church to do interviews and stuff like that for a couple of minutes, but it don't warrant this. You support this, you don't support the First Amendment. You don't support freedom of the press. Don Lemon has been critical of me.
I don't give a damn.
Let me know in the chat. 1 in the chat. Do you agree with Don Lemon's First Amendment rights? Do you agree with Stephen A. Smith? Or do you stand with the parishioners? Or do you stand with the parishioners? Remember.
And whether you like it or not, Don Lemon is a member of the press. Don Lemon.
Remember what I played for you yesterday. His rights does not supersede the rights of the individuals at the church. Don Lemon arrested, ICE watch, ICE crisis, or manufactured.
All right, so everybody's asked me what I think about this Don Lemon thing. Number one, like, I'm so tired of these media boomers. Like, I am so tired of these 60-year-olds that are running around trying to have viral moments like a 24-year-old influencer. Like, at this point, you have made all of this money and you have been in the game for this long and you're running around as a 60-year-old man trying to do all of this stuff for clout. It is completely absurd. And I definitely do not want to be a 60-year-old man that is running around pulling stunts for social media like this. I'm tired of boomer Don Lemon. I'm tired of all these boomers that were on CNN or all these mainstream media sources. Like, nobody cares about them anymore. Like, I'm tired of all the boomers in DC right now that are giving him attention, acting as if this is relevant. Like, it's just not relevant. I am tired of all of these boomers that have not sat down, had some babies, and passed the torch. So I don't really have thoughts about Don Lemon. The whole thing is so pathetic to me that I don't know if there are any thoughts that I could have about it. The only thought that I have is just Don Lemon, like O'Reilly, like all these other media boomers. Like, bro, sit down.
I agree. As a Gen Xer, I agree, and I know I have a lot of boomer audience members. I know I have a lot of boomer audience members, but as a Gen Xer, I have to agree. That's why I came so hard at Maxine Waters, Nancy Pelosi. Dianne Feinstein died in office. This is a legitimate argument in the claim that Gen X has. Dianne Feinstein died in office. Chuck Schumer needs to retire. Nancy Pelosi is already retiring. Maxine Waters needs to retire. The boomers need to make room for Gen X. The boomers will fuck around and stay in power, and the Gen X generation will never get a chance to be senators. With the ideology that boomers have, Gen X will get passed up, and then the next generation will be in Congress because we too fucking old. Barack Obama was president in his 40s. If the boomers don't sit the fuck down, Gen X will be wiped out by their greed. By people like Maxine Waters who want to stay in office until she's fucking 90. She's 87. I asked you, if she runs in November, that means she's gonna die in office. Because how long is the term in Congress? If you think I'm being mean, I just know you haven't thought about it because you're not Gen X. I said, if Maxine Waters runs in November and she wins, the possibility is that she will die a congresswoman because she will be in office well into her 90s. Well into her 90s. And I know I'm hurting feelings, but you motherfucking boomers don't donate. So I can say right now, kiss my ass. All the boomers right now who watch me, who are in your fucking feelings, kiss my ass. Because you don't fucking donate. And you don't support. I get called the N-word. I get trolled. I know my analytics. My analytics say there are a lot of baby boomers in my chat. And you don't fucking support. You don't join the channel. You don't become members. This is what you do in the society. You just sit on the fucking sidelines unless it affects you personally. So I just want to say, kiss my ass. You fucking watch me. You get entertained. You fucking should donate to the channel, become a member, support the channel, and don't let people fucking troll and act like fucking children. But that's what you do, baby boomers. You let people smoke weed at home. You let children have sex in the house. You let girls have babies. You let the kids change their sexual orientation. That's what the fuck the baby boomers did. So it's no surprise that you're in my chat and you don't fucking do anything like a fucking adult should. I'm going to play it again. Baby boomers have all the wealth, all the knowledge, and they are allowing, baby boomers are the largest generation that we will ever see. They have changed the world and humanity forever. There will never be a generation as large as the baby boomers. We need to hold them accountable. They fucking owe us. They fucking owe us. There will never be a generation as large in human existence. You know how big of a fucking statement that is? You know how big of a fucking statement that is? They're the largest generation ever in human existence, and there will never be a generation this large again. They fucking owe. They fucking owe, brothers and sisters. 87. Maxine Waters is 87. Nancy Pelosi, 83, worth $400 million, and you can't buy a fucking house. This ain't about red or blue. Nancy Pelosi worth $400 million. She has better investment than the fucking S&P 500. Maxine Waters is worth millions. 83, 87, they gonna die rich, die millionaires, die royalty. That is fucking royalty. That is fucking royalty. That is not a congresswoman. That is fucking royalty. And you know all the baby boomers who having the fit right now, you notice what they're not doing? They're not donating. I haven't got one super chat from a baby boomer to dispel what I'm saying to you. They have all the money. Does anybody really know about economics and where the wealth is right now? Where is the wealth being hidden right now? We will never have a generation this large again. When they retire, they just retired 2 years ago. What bankrupted Detroit? What bankrupted Vallejo? See, you guys don't know this shit, and you're supposed to know this shit. This is a political channel. I'm not the only one who's supposed to know this shit. What bankrupted Detroit? What is bankrupting every major American city? Police, fire, and teacher retirements. The baby boomers negotiated these fat retirements. When they retire, they will bankrupt the system. Ain't nobody talking about this. When they retire, they will bankrupt more cities, because cities right now, after the pandemic, where they lost revenue, they don't have as much tax base, and the biggest cities are in a deficit. So now the baby boomers retire from police, fire, and teacher with these high plans, these high pensions, and the city is forced to pay out. Now, the city never understood that they would have to pay out so much at one time because the baby boomers are so large. So there's a large amount of money that needs to go out from these cities to this generation of people. It bankrupted Detroit. Y'all don't know that the baby boomers just retired last year. They just hit 65. This is why we have Doge. These are things that CNN is not going to tell you. Why do we have Doge? Why is it so critical that we save money? Because Social Security is going to run out. Why would Social Security run out? We have the baby boomers retiring. The baby boomers are going to suck it all up. There's such a large population that there will be no more Social Security for anyone else. Not just Gen X, but nobody is going to be gone. I'm not making this up. These are realities. There's such a big population that they're going to suck up everything. We should hold them accountable and make them come up with solutions. And they still whining in my chat. Just fucking whining. Fucking baby boom. They really are fucking babies. They really are fucking babies. Won't take no responsibility. We didn't start the fire. It was always burning. Just the world been turning. We didn't start the fire. Fucking baby boomers, man. Fucking boomers, man. Straight up, man. Straight up. No accountability. Ever since the fucking 60s and the hippies, since they brought drugs into American homes. When did America go down? When the fucking baby boomers brought drugs, sex, and rock and roll home, ladies and gentlemen. I am a latchkey kid. I saw it, so y'all can kiss my ass. Y'all can kiss my ass. Y'all can kiss my ass. I know what you did. You did it to me. I was there.
All right, so everybody's asking me what I think about this Don Lemon thing. Number one, like, I'm so tired of these media boomers. Like, I am so tired of these 60-year-olds that are running around trying to have viral moments like a 20.
Now, put it in context. Don Lemon, 60 years old, multi-millionaire with a white husband or white, whatever you want to call her, been on CNN 20 years, and look at the way this is being framed. 60 years old and you go into a church. 60 years old and you do this shit. I love this perspective because then it's properly framed for all of the fucking crybabies crying boo-hoo fucking who for Don fucking Lemon. Now, with this perspective that he's fucking 60, can you finally admit he fucking should have knew better? Stephen A. Smith say, it wasn't smart, I wouldn't have did it. Okay, well, compile that with the fact that he's fucking 60, Stephen. If it wasn't smart and you wouldn't have did it, what do you say about a 60-year-old man who fucking does it? Do we fucking forgive that? He's doing it for fucking clout. Thank you for this perspective.
24-year-old influencer. Like, at this point, you have made all of this money. and you have been in the game for this long, and you're running around as a 60-year-old man trying to do all of this stuff for clout. It is completely absurd.
Agreed.
And I definitely do not want to be a 60-year-old man that is running around pulling stunts for social media like this.
That's exactly what it was. They planned it outside of the church, and that's what's going to make him guilty and why he should go to jail, because it was a social media stunt, and that stunt violated the right. A lot of people go to jail for this internet shit. Remember that black girl, the brick lady? She got kicked off the internet for 10 years, and she got in trouble. Remember the girl who lied about being kidnapped? It's a lot of people who do stupid shit on this internet and have to pay for it in real life. Sorry, Don, but I'm not fucking sorry.
I'm tired of boomer Don Lemon. I'm tired of all these boomers that were on CNN or all these mainstream media sources. Like, nobody cares about them anymore.
No.
Like, I'm tired of all the boomers in DC right now that are giving him attention, acting as if this is relevant. Like, it's just not relevant. I am tired of all of these boomers that have not sat down, had some babies, and passed the torch. So I don't really have thoughts about Don Lemon. The whole thing is so pathetic to me that I don't know if there are any thoughts that I could have about it. The only thought that I have is just Don Lemon, like O'Reilly, like all these other media boomers. Like, bro, sit down.
Agree, brothers and sisters. That's just one perspective. We talking about Stephen A. Smith gave his perspective. That brother.
Right, so everybody's asking me what I think about this Don Lemon thing.
That brother gave his perspective. And we just talking about Don Lemon's arrest. This is Don Lemon on Don Lemon. This is Don Lemon on Don Lemon. Everybody double tap, hit the like button. #1 podcast. Ain't nobody giving you these facts like this and these different perspectives, man. Y'all watching the best show on YouTube. Double tap, hit the like button, like, share, subscribe. Big favor right now. If you're being entertained, hit the like button. Double tap the screen. I love you.
And there's a certain degree of entitlement. I think people who are, in the religious group.
Is he fucking serious? Is he fucking serious? Did he just? It's a level of entitlement, you motherfucker. Not from him. Not from him. You gotta love this. Because, like, even if you Democrat or Republican, you gotta fucking find that fucking hilarious. I'm the best.
And there's a certain degree of entitlement. I think people who are, in the religious groups like that, it's not the type of Christianity that I practice, but I think that they're entitled, and that entitlement comes from a supremacy, a white supremacy. And they think that this country...
Got him! He's going, y'all. I'm not even celebrating with this brother going down. Oh, shit, we got it. That's entitled, motherfucker. That is a sense of entitlement. Holy shit.
And there's a certain degree of entitlement. I think people who are, in the religious groups like that, it's not the type of Christianity that I practice, but I think that they're entitled, and that entitlement comes from a supremacy, a white supremacy. And they think that this country was built for them, that it is a Christian country, when actually we left England because we wanted religious freedom. It's religious freedom, but only if you're a Christian and only if you're a white male, pretty much. And so, yeah, I absolutely...
Sometimes I'll be like, why am I Republican? Why am I Republican? Because I want to be able to say and use this shit, man. I need to be able to pull the white card, man. Since I can't pull the white card, man, then he just say white and white. Oh, God. Oh. In 2026, Don Lemon just blamed this shit on white men. He sounded like Tim Walz. He said only white men. Oh, my God. Oh my God. Damn, this is so good. Damn, this is so good. Damn, this is good. Fucking white supremacy. Can I get the white man did it? I'm gonna put it myself. I'm gonna put it myself. I'm done. Oh shit. I can't pull a white card like that, man. I can't pull a white card. I can't blame white people and white men as a Trumper. But fuck, I would love to be able to do it the way he did it. Holy fucking shit. Holy fucking shit. You fucking white people. Don is the greatest. Don fucking love it. Oh God. Oh God.
And there's a certain degree of entitlement. I think people who are, in the religious groups like that, it's not the type of Christianity that I practice, but I think that they're entitled, and that entitlement comes from a supremacy, a white supremacy. And they think that this country was built for them, that it is a Christian country, when actually we left England because we wanted religious freedom. It's religious freedom, but only if you're a Christian and only if you're a white male, pretty much. And so, yeah, I absolutely 100%, but it's an intimidation tactic. And, I said, I don't understand how I've become the face of it when I was a journalist. I do understand that I'm the biggest name there. And I'm also, as I was on with my producers this morning, you and Kylie talk all the time. My producers were saying, I said, how did I become the face of this? And my producer said, Don, you're a gay black man in America. And there's a certain degree of entitlement. I think people who are, in the religious groups like that, it's not the type of Christianity.
Wait, did y'all hear that? Oh, this is a great clip. It's 44 seconds. You got all that in it. You know this a professional. So 2 times white people, first time white supremacy, second, these are keywords, you guys. This is SEO optimized to trigger the left, right? So first, white supremacy, second, white man, and lastly, gay black man. Let's hear the last part.
Face of this. And my producer said, Don, you're a gay black man in America.
Isn't he married to a white man? If you don't shut the fuck up, shut the front door. Shut the front door. Shut the front door. Shut it. Close the damn door. Close the door. Cletus. Close the door, Cletus. Close the door, Cletus. W. Shut up and do it, I'm gonna put my own damn W. I'm gonna put my own damn W. I wish I could super chat you. I'm gonna put my own damn W. I'm gonna put my own damn W. W chat. John. It's John. John, how you say it? John Witt, because I don't know gaming. John Wetz. Zig Gaming, Wet Zig Gaming is a gaming channel. Usually gamers don't like me. Gamers be coming in here giving me a hard time. So you might not like me. You just had a good comment. But either way, holy moly, black Batman. Woo, that's a great comment. Isn't he married to a white man? That just throws away the whole argument, Don. Don, you can't even argue. So, Don, you lose the white supremacy argument, and because you are married to a man, he could have been married to a white woman. If he was married to a white woman, we wouldn't be able to get him on that. But we could have just got him on the whiteness. But because you married to a white man, can't make Is it that white man, Don? Is it that white man that you married to that's keeping you down? Literally, is it that white man you married to? Oh, man. Oh, man, thank you so much. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Oh, man. Oh, man. That's hilarious. That is hilarious. Let's do it one more time. One more time. Don Lemon on the sense of entitlement. Who has the entitlement? Don Lemon or the parishioners? And he said those parishioners, and we saw the interview, that was a Latino man. That was a Mexican American. That wasn't a white man. But a lot of people say Mexicans is white. I don't know. Anglo. I don't know. I don't want to make anyone upset. To me, he seemed like a Latino brother. But, you know, Mexicans can check the white box in California. Did y'all know that? Mexicans can check the white box in California. Let's go. And that was done for voting.
And there's a certain degree of entitlement. I think people who are, you know, in the religious groups like that, it's not the type of Christianity that I practice, but I think that they're entitled, and that entitlement comes from a supremacy, a white supremacy. And they think that this country was built for them, that it is a Christian country, when actually we left England because we wanted religious freedom. It's religious freedom, but only if you're a Christian and only if you're a white male, pretty much. And so, yeah, I absolutely 100%, but it's an intimidation tactic. And, you know, I said, I don't understand how I've become the face of it when I was a journalist. I do understand that I'm the biggest name there. And I'm also, as I was on with my producers this morning, you know, you and Kylie talk all the time. My producers were saying, I said, how did I become the face of this? And my producer said, Don, you're a gay black man in America. And there's a certain degree of entitlement. I think people who are, you know, in the religious groups like that, it's not the type of Christianity that I practice.
So white supremacy, white men, and gay black men. Don Lemon, you are a true champion. Let's read the statement from Don Lemon after being arrested. I don't know if I read this or not. I want to thank everyone for their support. It means the world to me. I have spent my entire career covering the news. I will not stop now. In fact, there is no more important time than this very moment for a free and independent media that shines a light on the truth and hold those powers accountable. Last night, the DOJ sent a team of federal agents to arrest me in the middle of the night for doing what I've been doing for 30 years. 30 years, you should have known better. The First Amendment to the U.S. Constitution protects that work for me and countless other journalists who do what I do. I stand with all of you, them, and I will not be silenced. I look forward to my day in court. That is the response in writing, because he said something in verbal. Look at this. If Don Lemon is found not guilty of FACE Act violations because he is a member of the press, I will immediately put my press badge on and begin filming inside abortion clinics and interviewing women in the waiting room and clinic staff. This will be legitimate journalism. Now, remember what I said. Biden administration put people in prison for this. Remember what I said. The Biden administration jailed people for going to abortion clinics anywhere from 27 months to 11 years. And that I say Biden because this is like 11 months ago. Just for context, just 11 months ago, the FACE Act was used to put women and mothers who were praying. Somebody put it in the chat. Put women and mothers who were praying in prison for FACE Act violations, because these women had a right to have an abortion without being harassed or impeded, right? This is old Don Lemon. This is your old sheriff telling Don Lemon to his face, stop spreading fake woke propaganda, has gone viral. I don't know if that might be funny. In case you forgot why Don Lemon was arrested, and these ain't white people again. I said a Latino man, and these ain't white people again. Don Lemon said white people, white supremacy again. These aren't white people again. Don Lemon is just making excuses at this point. He's just making excuses at this point. Disgusting, Don Lemon says he contacted the DOJ and offered to turn himself in, but they ignored him, instead sent authorities to dramatically arrest him. Look at him. He is loving it. That's why I like the fact
to the room and I pressed the elevator.
That's why I like the fact with that the perspective I showed earlier when he said this is a 60-year-old man trying to get clicks. For those of you who may have disagreed with that take, now take a look at Don Lemon with his lipstick on, poking out his lips, smiling, and let's listen to him and all of the dancing and how happy he is, because he hasn't been on these couches in a long time, right? He hasn't been on these couches in a long time. Now he's back in the, so it works, Don Lemon.
Walking up to the room, and I press the elevator button, and all of a sudden I feel myself being jostled, and people trying to grab.
Didn't I say jostled was the word of the year? Didn't I say jostled was the word of the year? As soon as I said that 9mm that Alex Purdy carried, the P320 can go off if jostled, I've been hearing that word over and over and over. Hashtag jostled, because it's funny because in 2025, no one used the word jostled. Now it's completely in the lexicon. Let's go. One more time. He was jostled. He was jostled.
Walking up to the room, and I press the elevator button, and all of a sudden I feel myself being jostled, and people trying to grab me and put me in handcuffs, and I said, "What are you doing here?" And they said, "We came to arrest you." And I said, "Well, who are you?" And then finally they identified themselves, and I said, "If you are who you are, then where's the warrant?" And they didn't have a warrant, so they had to wait for someone from outside, an FBI guy, to come in to show me a warrant on a cell phone. And by that time, I was trying to, figure out what was going on to get my bearings, and they dropped all my stuff. My glasses had fallen on the floor. I'm like, I can't read that. So they had to pick my glasses up, and I read it, and still, what does that mean? So, and then there was a bunch of guys, and they took me outside. FBI guys were out there. I mean, it had to be maybe a dozen people, which is a waste, Jimmy, of resources, because sure. I had told them weeks before, and maybe once or twice, that we would, I think my attorney tried to contact them once, maybe twice, that I could just go in, and it would have to be the folks who were just working there that day, and they wouldn't have to have all these people following me around.
It's more than just a waste of resources. So they grab you and they take you where?
Well, you're right about more than just a waste of resources. They want that. They want to embarrass you. They want to intimidate you. They want to instill fear, and so that's why they did it that way.
No, they did it because you broke the law, Mr. Lemon. It wasn't personal. They did it because you broke the law. That's why they did it. You broke the law. Don Lemon making excuses. Don Lemon making excuses. They did it because you broke the law. That's what happened. They did it because you broke the law. I had another video, and I apologize because I got excited. I got going on a couple other things. I had another video I want to show you guys of some ICE violence that was pretty bad. A reporter got attacked, but she was a female. A female reporter was attacked by ICE, by Minnesota ICE, by ICE protesters. It was really sad. It was really sad. I'm gonna go here. Because it's just a family chilling here now. Some people come back, that's cool. But when we talk about ICE and Don Lemon, and earlier we talked about the Friday walkout that involved school age, underage people, right? Middle school, high school. I said, it looked like the adults are using the power of persuasion to manipulate and influence the children to a certain ideology, and that doesn't seem fair, legal. I said, I didn't want to use the G word. Y'all could put it in the chat, GROOMING. I don't want to say that because they don't like when I say that. But look at this video and you tell me, do you think there was some influencing here? We're going to see a video of a school. It said it was a private school. They say it was a private school, and this private school wanted to protest in solidarity with all the rest of the school age protesters. So this is what they chose to do.
Good afternoon. My name is Dr. Canton. I am the director here at the Chloe Day School here in Harlem, New York. As today is a national day of protest for all the violent things that we're seeing happening across our city, Here at the Chloe Day School, we learn about service and acts of service from Martin Luther King. And so to end our month of service, it's too cold outside for us to go outside and protest. Our teachers cannot walk off the job and leave our children unsupervised. So today, we decided in solidarity, we will support all those who are out protesting against the violence that we see and the harm that we see happening to our friends. So some of our friends are going to share how they feel about what's happening and what they want to see happening in our government to change the harm that we see. So Sahad, how do you feel about what's happening?
I feel all of it.
Right, and how do you feel? What did you tell us earlier?
I feel angry.
Because you don't like to see what?
I don't like to see people are hurt or taken away from their family.
Right, and so.
That's crazy, right? That's crazy, right? That's how they treating the children. You don't see what? We all have kids. We know what you're doing. That's programming. That's programming. You can't do that to little babies. That's programming. Why are you programming the babies? You're supposed to be teaching them. Why are you programming the babies? I just wanted to point that out. Remember, I brought this up earlier about why are these kids so angry? Who told them Republican bad, Democrat good? Who told them Republican bad, Democrat good? They got so excited on that day, they started being violent to anyone who had a red hat on.
More duties to enforce immigration law that Congress passed is
Tom Homan on the 700 ICE agents being removed from Minnesota per their request.
Sworn duties to enforce immigration law that Congress passed is unacceptable. And it's shameful and incomprehensible to me that this unlawful and threatening behavior is being tolerated by anyone. As far as what I saw yesterday with the roadblocks being set up, you're not going to stop ICE. You're not going to stop Border Patrol. The only thing you're doing is irritating your community and want to go get groceries or pick their children up or whatever.
Right.
I talked to the chief of police, and he committed to taking swift action on those illegal roadblocks. They're illegal. We shouldn't tolerate them. Again, a complete drawdown is going to depend on the cooperation, continued cooperation of local and state law enforcement and the decrease of the violence, the rhetoric, and the attacks against ICE and Border Patrol. The federal law enforcement personnel, ICE and CBP and other partner agencies are patriots. And they've carried out their duties patriotically.
So what I said earlier is when I explained this whole ICE thing,
sworn duties to enforce immigration law, that
we have scaled down ICE operations in Minnesota because they have allowed the cooperation that they said no in the beginning. Isn't this like Chuck Schumer? Isn't this a lot like Chuck Schumer and the House Democrats? At first they say no to Trump, no to federal government, no to federal ICE operations, right? Then after 2 people die, Minnesota citizens, no one died from the ICE, your people die, you look bad, you still haven't solved the fraud, then you want to say, finally, after the death and destruction, the city's going to cost money to fix all this shit, you got $19 billion in fraud, then you're going to finally say, oh, okay, federal government, we'll work with you. My argument today was if they would have worked with Tom Homan in the federal government from the beginning, then we never would have had Renee and Alex. You wouldn't have had any violence because ICE Watch wouldn't have been able to get a foothold because they would have been in and out in days, just like in Louisiana, just like in North Carolina. White House border czar Tom Homan announced that An immediate pullback of 700 immigration officers, personnel from Minnesota, thanks to unprecedented cooperation from local counties that allow ICE to take custody of criminal non-citizens directly from jails. Ain't that what I said and taught y'all? So who you gonna blame for the death of Renee Good and Alex Purdy? Straight up, bro. Who you gonna blame for the death of Renee Good and Alex Purdy now that you know this? They never had to die. There never should have been an ICE watch. There never should have been a resistance. Minnesota should have allowed Tom Homan and Homeland Security from the beginning to get access to criminal immigrants who they had in their jails, get access to criminal immigrants who are receiving welfare illegally, who are receiving Medicaid illegally. And none of this would have happened. The shift part of Operation Metro Surge cuts the need for 8 to 10 officers per pickup down to just 1 or 2, freeing resources after over 3,000 arrests since January. So since January, remember I told you 10,000 in Chattahoochee Crunch, 5,000 in Charlotte's Web, January for crimes like murder, drug trafficking amid protests, roadblocks, and 2 fatal ICE-involved shootings. Homan warned that operation will continue. 2,000 agents remain until threats end and cooperation holds, while Minnesota police remove the legal barriers. They could have did that from day one. They could have and should have done that from day one. They could have and should have done that from day one.
Between the county jails and ICE to avoid public safety. Attorney General Mayor Fry and law enforcement officials about increasing coordination in a lawful way between the county jails and ICE to avoid public safety threats being released back in the community. While we had our differences, one thing was clear: we all committed to public safety for all who live in the Twin Cities. We have made significant progress under the direction of President Trump, working with state and local officials here in Minnesota, and I expect that to increase in the coming weeks. We continue to have discussions. I'll have discussions this afternoon. We currently have an unprecedented number of counties communicating with us now and allowing ICE to take custody of illegal aliens before they hit the streets. Unprecedented cooperation. And I'll say it again. This is efficient, requires only 1 or 2 officers to assume custody of a criminal alien target rather than 8 or 10 officers going into the community and arresting that public safety threat. This frees up more officers to arrest or remove criminal aliens. More officers taking custody of criminal aliens directly from the jails means less officers on the street doing criminal operations. This is smart law enforcement, not less law enforcement. It's safer for the community, safer for the officers, and safer for the alien. This coordination also makes it far more safe for the Twin Cities.
Tom Homan drawdown. People saying that's out of control crisis. Okay. I gotta get something to eat, y'all. I gotta get something to eat. Starving right now. Starving like Marvin in the vegetable garden. I love you guys. I'm gonna ask everybody, 77 people right now, everybody hit the like button. We 77, 86 people watching right now. Everybody hit the like button. Everybody watching right now, hit the like button. Oh, you know what we didn't get to? We didn't get to the peace talks. We didn't get to the peace talks.
Ukrainian and
one
Russian
of the things I
negotiations
want,
began the first of 2 more days.
one of the things that I am so happy about, because I talked about Maduro being in power. He was a dictator because he was president for over 10 years. And then I talked about Zelensky coming to power in 2014. And why hasn't there been elections in the Ukraine? And in my research today, what I found is that Putin has said one of the concessions with the peace deal is that Zelensky got to go. Like, he's not a king. He got to go. He should have had an election by now. He should have been, the term of his presidency has been up. He looking like a dictator. So I like that is being discussed, because Zelensky has been a major roadblock, and now we know why. Because from the beginning of the peace deal, he knew his days were numbered. How you guys feel about that? I am so happy to report. And I pray that is one of the key factors in the peace agreement, that Zelensky and the Ukraine people get to have a free and fair election, not including this old regime.
Ukrainian and Russian negotiators have begun the first of 2 more days of peace talks in Abu Dhabi, coordinated by the United States. President Zelensky has said Ukraine wants a real and dignified end to the war. But on the eve of the negotiations, Russia launched a massive missile attack on Ukraine, targeting civilian infrastructure, leaving large numbers of people without power. Mr. Zelensky said Russia's strikes, despite agreeing an energy truce with the US, show that its word cannot be trusted. He's called for more pressure on Moscow to make it negotiate for peace instead of pushing Ukraine to surrender. Our Ukraine correspondent James Waterhouse gave us his analysis of the hopes for any progress at the talks today.
Little to none if you're speaking to people in the freezing Kyiv temperatures this morning. President Zelensky's talking about the need for his team to change their approach as they once again meet their Russian counterparts under the supervision of the Emiratis and the Americans. But it's not clear what that change of approach could be. And if people are listening to this thinking, hang on, haven't we been here before? Well,
I know y'all didn't see the beginning. Hold on, let me run it back.
Ukrainian and Russian negotiators have begun the first of 2 more days of peace talks in Abu Dhabi, coordinated by the United States. President Zelensky has said Ukraine wants a real and dignified end to the war. But on the eve of the negotiations, Russia launched a massive missile attack on Ukraine, targeting civilian infrastructure, leaving large numbers of people without power. Mr. Zelensky said Russia's strikes, despite agreeing an energy truce with the US, show that its word cannot be trusted. He's called for more pressure on Moscow to make it negotiate for peace instead of pushing Ukraine to surrender. Our Ukraine correspondent James Waterhouse gave us his analysis of the hopes for any progress at the talks today.
Little to none if you're speaking to people in the freezing Kyiv temperatures this morning. President Zelensky's talking about the need for his team to change their approach as they once again meet their Russian counterparts under the supervision of the Emiratis and the Americans. But it's not clear what that change of approach could be. And if people are listening to this thinking, hang on, haven't we been here before? Well, we have. It is true that Donald Trump and Vladimir Putin did agree a brief pause in Russia's aerial bombardments of Ukraine on its energy infrastructure during this cold grip. But the moment the agreed time frame passed last Sunday, you just need to look at the numbers around the latest attack. We're talking about 450 drones reportedly being launched, dozens of ballistic missiles, people staying in tents within their apartments just to try and keep warm in any way. And so it is notable, yes, that the dialogue is continuing, but it seems that the issue of Ukraine having to hand over more land to Russia is something Kyiv can't bat off. And equally, Russia is happy to keep fighting in the meantime. And so these continuing dynamics are something that Ukraine is only going to feel the pressure from, really.
Yeah, and overshadowing these talks even further is Russia's threat to take even more territory if the talks fail.
Yeah, I mean, that, if you look at its objective, that will be utterly unsurprising to those living on the front lines. I mean, we're talking about the eastern Donbas region of Ukraine. Ukraine still is keeping hold of around a fifth of it. It is true the Russians are grinding forward, but many estimates think that for Russia to take the remainder of the Donbas region, it would take another 1.5 years at least. And we are talking about cities that Ukraine has defended successfully, cities that sit on hills. And so the idea that Kyiv would sign a bit of paper, handing them over, is something seen as a non-starter still in Ukraine, because they claim it would embolden Russia to go further, and it would, of course, give Russia a military advantage. But you're now hearing more senior American officials tout this idea that Ukraine should just cede this territory for now and revisit it at a later date. Well, Ukraine only has to look at the past 12 years of Russian aggression to be confident of the idea that once Russia takes territory, it doesn't give it up.
What do you think? What I've maintained from the beginning is that these are the spoils of war. Russia is the victor. Why do they always want to change the rules? These are the spoils of war. Russia is the victor. They're going to benefit. Thank God Trump is president and that we're going to benefit. Some people are mad that America's going to benefit from the peace agreement. I love it. We're going to benefit in Israel and Gaza. We're going to benefit in Russia. I love it. These are the imagine trying to do a peace agreement with a bully who then beat up everybody on the block, took over the block, and now that bully is making money on the new corner. And you want to say, okay, we're going to have a peace agreement where you stop beating up everybody on the block. And the bully like, okay, I'm going to focus on my money. I'm not going to beat up everybody on the block. But then the people that got beat up say, but you got to give back those corners. The bully going to say, fuck you. I'm not giving back shit. As a matter of fact, I'll beat your ass right now. Think about it. If the bully then came on the block, took the corner, and he's trying to take the rest of the corners, and the negotiation is, we need you to stop beating up everybody so we can get back to the money. And the bully, like, he agreed. I got more corners now. I got more money, more mouths to feed. But the people who got beat up and ran off their corner, my homie got killed. He's a goner black. St. Louis Gunners with their cornerback. Shooting in snowy white. It's a legal business. Brothers still can't stick together. So they want their cornerback. And the bully is like, no, I'm not giving it back. Make me. Take it. And they don't have the ability to take the cornerback. So the Ukraine, without American support, listen to this. The Ukraine without American support is going to have to give up the Donbas region. I'm just sorry. Or you're going to have to fight Russia on your own, or France and your NATO allies is going to have to help you. Because we're not doing it. We're not doing it. And I love that Macron has to go. I love that Macron has to go. I love that Macron has to go because he's been a roadblock to peace, as if he doesn't care about the lives and deaths of his own people. The lives and deaths of his own people, which is sick, sad, and perverted. So when I don't like the way they frame these geopolitical discussions as if like Putin is a bad guy. Like, nah, this is war, man. This is war. And there's spoils of war. Putin won. Imagine Putin spending all his money. He's expelled. He's expended lives and missiles and bullets in this fight. And you want to say, no, he doesn't get to recoup all the money he spent, the lives he lost, all because, and the Munich Security Councils are coming back up, all because Biden wanted to do another Cold War?
Special Envoy Witkoff and Jared Kushner will be in Abu Dhabi tomorrow for another round of trilateral talks. I would note the trilateral talks that took place last week or the week prior are historic by nature. Never before have all three of our countries really been able to sit down at the negotiating table to move the ball forward towards peace. by Special Envoy Witkoff and Jared Kushner will be in Abu Dhabi tomorrow for another round of trilateral talks. I would note the trilateral talks that took place last week or the week prior are historic by nature. Never before have three of our countries really been able to sit down at the negotiating table to move the ball forward towards peace. By Special Envoy Witkoff and Jared Kushner will be in Abu Dhabi tomorrow for another round of trilateral talks. I would note the trilateral talks that took place last week or the week prior are historic by nature. Never before have three of our countries really been able to sit down at the negotiating table to move the ball forward towards peace. By Special Envoy.
Trilateral talks. Remember when they teased Trump early last year when Trump was caught on the hot mics and he said that Putin wanted to do a deal and he was alluding to trilateral talks? Remember the Dems were making fun of us? That's how they responded to us saying that we were going to get a peace agreement. Trump had only been in office for a couple months and people couldn't believe it. Trump has only been in office 11 months. This conflict was actually started in 2014 when Biden was vice president and Biden was the envoy to the Ukraine. Biden has been unsuccessful in this Ukraine debacle since 2014.
Es ist kalt in der Ukraine und durch eine Beschädigung der Energieinfrastruktur, insbesondere Wärmekraftwerke.
That's a Ukrainian response. I don't know how to translate that, so we might skip that. They in Abu Dhabi, the Denali lobby. You see him in Abu Dhabi, the Denali lobby. The day after U.S. envoy arrived in Russia, one day so-called peace talks in Abu Dhabi concluded. Russia once again showed their colors and showing Russia bombing still. Oh, it's a good one. It's a good one. I know, man. I hate that I wait. I hate that the podcast, like, I apologize to y'all for making y'all wait, man. Check this out. I want to say thank you to everybody that hung out. Double tap hit the like button. Check this out. Little gift. So, remember I reported to you on the Epstein files the other day, Bill Gates being in the Epstein files. This is Bill Gates responding very quickly, I might add, to the rumor mill.
No doubt seen the allegations, including some of them in the last 24 to 48 hours. Are they true?
No, apparently Jeffrey wrote an email to himself. That email was never sent. The email is, false. So I don't know what his thinking was there. Was he trying to attack me in some way? But, it just reminds me, every minute I spent with him, I regret and I, apologize that I did that.
The problem is some of the things that he has sent and some of the information about other people that has come up in those files has been true. Why would he do this and say this about you, do you think?
It's factually true that I was only at dinners. I never went to the island. I never met any women. And so, the more that comes out, the more clear it'll be that although the time was a mistake, it had nothing to do with that kind of behavior.
Is it frustrating to you, given what you've said, that this is now happening?
Not really. I mean, people should, hold people who are successful to a very high bar. And so, it's as these documents come out, they're going to be closely scrutinized.
Okay.
What y'all think? Did he do it? He said he didn't do it.
No doubt seen the allegations, including some of them in the last 24 to 48 hours. Are they true?
No, apparently Jeffrey wrote an email to himself. That email was never sent. The email is, false. So I don't know what his thinking was there. Was he trying to attack me in some way? But, it just reminds me, every minute I spent with him, I regret and I, apologize that I did that.
The problem is some of the things that he has sent and some of the information about other people that has come up in those files has been true. Why would he do this and say this about you, do you think?
It's factually true that I was only at dinners. I never went to the island. I never met any women. And so, the more that comes out, the more clear it'll be that although the time was a mistake, it had nothing to do with that kind of behavior.
Is it frustrating to you, given what you've said, that this is now happening?
Not really. I mean, people should, hold people who are successful to a very high bar. And so, it's, as these documents come out, they're going to be closely scrutinized.
Okay.
Put a 1 in the chat if you believe Bill Gates. Put a 1 in the chat if you believe Bill Gates. Or do you think he had something to do with Mr. Epstein? Put a 1 in the chat if you believe Bill Gates. Put a 1 in the chat if you believe Bill Gates. Or do you think he has something to do with
Y'all was
Mr.
just paying
Epstein?
30 and didn't even fucking know it under Joe Biden and Kamala Harris. Like, if you can't see the work, yeah, y'all building all these fucking data centers all around the world, all these different states, including in my state. We in a data center too, and they expect for us to help pay for this shit. My president said, "Man, fuck no, y'all gotta pay for that shit on your own. Figure it out." Like, what? My president got our back so much financially, y'all. Like, he done put a cap on interest rates on the credit cards, 10%. Y'all was just paying 30 and didn't even fucking know it under Joe Biden and Kamala Harris. Like, if you can't see the work, the magic that Trump is doing for the American people, make that clear. You are just in denial. You are just blind as fuck, and you don't want to look at the facts of it. Like, USA, USA.
Y'all stand with Trump? Put a 1 in the chat if you stand with Trump. Ilhan Omar investigation is heating up. Somebody yesterday said Ilhan Omar is gone. $30 million. Let's go.
Now investigators are tracking the web of fraud to other Minnesota Democrats, such as Congresswoman Ilhan Omar. Many of the suspects linked to the scheme live in her district, including a restaurant owner who hosted events for her. He has since been convicted of stealing $12 million in COVID funds. Well, now investigators are tracking the web of fraud to other Minnesota Democrats, such as Congresswoman
Ilhan Omar, does she win in November? Does she win? Tim Walz already stepped down. Tim Walz already stepped down. Ilhan Omar, does she win in November? Double tap, hit the like button, man. I got to get something to eat, man. Hate to leave you guys. I love you guys. Thank you so much for supporting me today. Hit the super chat on the way out. I don't see a super chat. Hit the super chat. Hit the Cash App. My Cash App is $ Big D Rents. I never put my Cash App in the chat. You know, I have people who's supposed to be my friend and shit. They never put my Cash App. I ain't never seen nobody put my Cash App in the chat. They know it, but I did it. Hit the Cash App to support the channel. Become a sponsor of the show. Subscribe. When you subscribe, you're going to get a plus sign. Hit the plus sign so you can become a member. You know? Don't do that in my chat, please. Don't do that in my chat, please. Double tap, hit the like button. You could do a super chat if you want to support. Hit the Cash App if you want to support. Like, share, and subscribe with a like-minded person. I'll see you tomorrow between 12 and 1. Today we did 1. I might do 1 again tomorrow. I might do 1 p.m., 12:30. Tomorrow's Thursday, hot Thursday. You know, Thursdays is hot like fire, so I got a couple videos I didn't get to today. Some more ICE violence. I didn't want to waste it at the end of the show. So I'll start tomorrow first thing with that ICE violence. Y'all have a blessed day. God bless America. God bless President Trump. God bless those in the chat. I pray you have a blessed day. I pray a covering over you and your protected safe passage. God bless the memory of Charlie Kirk and his children. And you guys have a great day. See you tomorrow.